Emotions are running high.
This is as big as it gets in college football. You got an opportunity to come into somebody's house and take something away from them. Show them our intentions. Okay, Tennessee is here to play. It's going to be the last man standing.
It's game day.
SEC on CBS, where Game Day in Tuscaloosa presents a symphony of sound and emotion, affecting young and old alike, where dreams can be fulfilled. The Crimson Tide of Alabama first to take the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And right behind them, the Volunteers of Tennessee, who come in with 4 wins and 2 defeats. SEC football on CBS. The Volunteers of Tennessee against the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, along with Todd Blackledge and Jill Arrington. In a normal season, this battle of bitter rivals resembles a heavyweight fight with the title in the balance. But this is an abnormal time, and this game is being painted with a different colored brush. This one has shades of urgency and desperation. Urgency for Tennessee, a team that can still attain its goals, but a team which has been hammered in losing its last 2 games. Desperation for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. They come in with 3 wins and 5 defeats. They too have been hammered in their last 2 losses, and they are shackled by NCAA sanctions. And there is also the matter, and it is no small matter, of allegations of improprieties that continue to be lobbed across the border by supporters of each school in the specific direction of the other. As we said, this is a bitter rivalry on and off the field. Here are the quarterbacks: Casey Clausen of Tennessee, Brodie Croyle of Alabama.
I remember coming here as a freshman, and they're kind of jokingly saying it to me when they said, hey, we don't care about who you beat as long as you beat Alabama. And I wouldn't understand the rivalry when I first came here, but being here 3-4 years, I understand it now, and it's definitely a real big game for the fans.
This is the type of game that can turn our season around, because this is a huge rivalry for us, and pretty much our fans from each state hate each other, and it'll give us bragging rights for 1 more year.
Well, Todd, given all that, what do you expect?
Well, I think you're right. I think both teams will come in with a real sense of urgency, determined to play their best football they played in the month of October. But I think both teams come in with a confidence problem. And as important as I think is which team is the most physical and who runs and stops the run the best, I think the biggest issue is going to be what happens between the ear holes of the helmet. Which team regains their confidence quicker in this football game is going to determine who has the upper hand and then ultimately who wins this football game.
It's 75 degrees, 73% humidity, wind out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. And the forecast, partly cloudy. Well, there's an adjacent border between the two. Alabama leads the series 43-35-7. First game, a 6-6 tie in Birmingham. Tennessee has won the last 2 meetings here. Now the series resumed in Tuscaloosa in 1999. So one could truly say that Alabama has not defeated Tennessee in Tuscaloosa since 1930. One could say that, and it would be true. Tennessee won the toss. They've deferred the option to the second half. Bama gets the ball to begin. Ray Hudson will take a knee. It'll come out to the 20. And let's check in with Jill Arrington.
Well, guys, as you said, there's a lot of bragging rights at stake in this big rivalry game, but Tennessee has a lot more to play for. They see this as the second start to their season. This game has been a very pivotal game for them in the past. In 2000, it was Casey Clausen's first start. They struggled coming into this game, but with the win, they went on a 6-game winning streak in the Cotton Bowl. But last year, losing at home, their season really took a downward spiral. Coach Fulmer says this year's team, he likes their preparation, their dedication, and if they turn it around today, they could make it back to Atlanta.
All right, Jill, thank you, and that is attainable. Absolutely. Here's Shawn Williams on first down, going left and losing a yard or two. The quarterback, Brody Croyle, playing with a separated left shoulder. He did play all of last week's game at Ole Miss, was hit on that left shoulder late in the game. He missed the previous game against Southern Mississippi, a victory. He was re-injured prior to that in Georgia when he played 2 games. And he was injured for the first time, seriously, against Arkansas. It's been a tough season for a tough young man. Here's Williams going left again, out to the 5, maybe the 26. JT Mapu makes the tackle, and we'll check the Earthlink starting lineups for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Brett Smiley Lomax gets the start today for J.B. Klausner, Dennis Alexander, and Evan Mathis. Shawn Williams, Tim Castile in the backfield. Dre Fulgham, Triandos Luke are the wideouts, and the tight end is David Cavan. Opening drives have not yielded much this season for the Crimson Tide. 1 score. On third down, here's Croyle. Finds a man underneath. It's tipped away and incomplete.
Very nearly intercepted.
Kevin Simon.
Yeah, Kevin Simon was reading the quarterback's eyes and nearly came away with a huge interception. Last week against Ole Miss on Brody Croyle's first pass, as you take a look at Simon just reading the quarterback. Brody Croyle never sees him to the inside. Had good protection, but very fortunate that that didn't get picked off. But last week against Ole Miss, Croyle's first pass attempt was intercepted. His receiver fell down, and Ole Miss went in and scored right away. And it was a bad start from the very beginning for Alabama last week.
Now we've got an official down up near the 50-yard line being helped to his feet now. They're checking closely. It looks as if he got hit in the head.
Well, not to make light of this in any way, but this is going to be a physical football game. I mean, these two teams are very similar in that they want to run the football. And when they win, and when they have won this year, they've run the ball well and they've stopped the run. And when they've lost, they've done just the opposite. And so that will be the real story of this game today. We're being told that it's the field judge, Richard Morales, who is being attended to right now by the Alabama training staff.
Now the contact occurred well away from the play from the line of scrimmage. And Richard Morales is going to be patched up. Sent back on the highway.
Yeah, he's going to play hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a physical game. He's going to play hurt.
Put a patch on it and get back out there.
There's a difference between being hurt and being injured. You can play when you're hurt. Can't play when you're injured.
Turning philosopher on me early in the afternoon. This is good.
It's that long lull we had right there. Give me too much time on my hands.
Immanuel Kant. And here is Beau Freeland on to punt. Little pressure. Freeland has been superb in the last couple of games. Mark Jones, though, that's a line drive. And Mark Jones skips out of the tackle and counter punches all the way to the 49-yard line. Mr. Everything for Tennessee, Mark Jones, starting wide out, also plays as a defensive back and returns punts. Casey Clausen. Jill mentioned his first start ever was against this Alabama team. Tennessee had lost a couple. He came on. They won 6 in a row in Casey Clausen's freshman year.
And he lost his first game on the road a couple weeks ago against Auburn. And a sign of a real leader is a guy who can lead his team to victory in hostile environments. 11-1 as a starter in road games.
First down and 10. Tennessee with excellent field position to start the game. They'll hand it off. Cedric Houston or Troy Fleming. Number 27 gets a rare handoff. That's only his 3rd carry of the season.
Well, Mark Anderson is going to get the tackle. Here he is right here, this defensive end. He's making his first start. He's starting in place of Naughton McKay-Losher today. And right away, he makes a big play for the Alabama defense.
That is a loss of 1. Second down, 11. It's Fleming and Houston in the backfield now. Tony Brown starts in motion. Draw play, right side. Houston across the 50 and down to the Alabama 48-yard line. The middle linebacker, Freddie Roach, makes the tackle. Tennessee's offense, you've met Casey Clausen. Up front, Munoz, Herrera, Scott Wells, Cody Douglas, and Sean Young. In the backfield, Houston and Fleming. Houston, one of 3 backs we'll see today. Tony Brown, Mark Jones are the wideouts. The tight end, Victor McClure. And Philip Fulmer is the coach.
And right away, a big test for Alabama. Last week, they couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. Ole Miss converted 9 of 16 against them on 3rd down, as you see Tennessee's numbers on their first 3rd down play.
And conversely, last week, Tennessee was 1 of 11, and they immediately convert their first 3rd down opportunity in this game.
Yeah, single coverage. James Banks, who's a tall receiver, is also the backup quarterback working on Anthony Madison. There's Banks running a little slant route. I think the 2 routes that Casey Clausen throws best by far are the slants and the deep ends. Those are his 2 favorite routes to throw. And on 3rd down, he went to one of them for the completion.
First down and 10 inside the 40 at the 38. Play fake. Clausen rolling right, being chased by Anderson. Fires it out. It's caught at the 30-yard line. That's a gain of 8. Tony Brown with the reception. In this week's Home Depot coach's decision, let's look at the move of James Banks from quarterback to wide receiver.
Well, James Banks is 6'3", 200 pounds, and he's an excellent athlete. They want to get him on the field. He made this huge catch right at the end of the half against Florida to give Tennessee the lead, and then against South Carolina in overtime, the game winner. I mean, how often do you move a guy from quarterback and then he becomes your leading receiver? But that's the case for Tennessee.
Second down and 3. Off tackle.
Fumble.
Cedric Houston. Loose ball. Scramble. Who got it?
Alabama got it. They almost lost it because they tried to pick it up and score with it, but they were able to get it back in the end. This was a run for a first down for Tennessee. There's the hit. Charles Jones, number 20, is going to come in and rip the football out of Cedric Houston. It's never the first guy. It's always the second guy who gets there that tries for the strip. And Alabama able to come away with a huge defensive stop in their own territory. Charlie Pepper with the recovery.
Ball in 24 at the 7th fumble picked off by Alabama this season. Here's Croyle into the flat, caught by a stumbling back out of the backfield. That's Tim Castile, freshman high schooler whose father Jeremiah was an All-American here at Alabama. Let's take a look at this Tennessee defensive group. They have been susceptible to the run recently. Harrelson, Mapu, Mondre Dickerson, and Constantine Ritzman. The linebackers, Kevin Simon, Robert Peace, and Kevin Burnett. And the secondary, Jabari Greer, Rashad Baker, Jabril Wilson, and Jason Allen. Allen leads that group with 2 interceptions this year. There's a draw play, and Shawn Williams across the 30 out to the 31-yard line.
Looks like one of Alabama's offensive linemen is down. It might be Evan Mathis, the right tackle. I was talking to Evan's uncle, Bob Baumhauer, in our hotel last night, and he was saying keep an eye on Evan. Here's Evan and Wesley Britt, the left tackle. Both of them are down on the ground at the end of this play. Both of the starting tackles There's Evan Mathis in our screen right now, but on the other side of the field, Wesley Britt, the starting left tackle, is also down.
And Britt has played particularly well the last couple of weeks. What a calamity, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Time has been called as both starting offensive tackles injured on that last play. Welcome back to Bryant-Denny Stadium. Tennessee and Alabama scoreless first quarter. And the magnificent overhead images of today's game that you're getting courtesy of the 1-800-MEDICARE Lightship. The crew of the 1-800-MEDICARE Lightship hope you're enjoying today's game. And down on the field, attention still being paid to Wesley Britt.
Well, this isn't a pretty picture, and if you may want to hide your kid's eyes, watch number 70 right here. He's going to just get a body falling into his left leg, and the way they're attending to him right now, it looks like he may have broken something in that left leg. And he, as you mentioned, Vern, the coaches told us yesterday, he's really been playing well. He's one of the leaders on this team, a very talented offensive lineman. When you have a right-handed quarterback, your left tackle, the most critical position on your offensive line, and tough to lose a guy this early in such a big game for Alabama.
And on that same play, of course, Evan Mathis was injured, the right tackle, and Shad Williams, the ball carrier, came off the field in some degree of pain. Here's Wesley Britt. Younger brother Taylor is a part of this Alabama team. He's a real leader. They had a players only meeting called Sunday before practice, and it was called by Wesley Britt, Justin Smiley, who is his colleague at a guard position, and Shad Williams, trying to right the ship that has been taking heavy water here in the last 3 or 4 games.
Well, the good news for Alabama, it appears that Evan Mathis is okay. He's back up and he's in the team huddle on the sideline. Shad Williams appears to be okay. Now what Alabama has to do is they'll move Atlas Harrion, who is a very versatile backup offensive lineman. He plays a lot of different positions, and he'll have to slip into that left tackle spot now, number 75.
And let's get a little bit more from Jill Arrington. Jill.
Well, you saw the gruesome sight of Wesley Britt, and it is a lower broken leg, they do believe. However, Shad Williams, he's just getting some fluids in him. He's going to be just fine. And Evan Mathis, they take a look at his left shoulder, and he's fine as well. So they'll both be back on the field.
All right, Evan Mathis, as a matter of fact, Jill, has just returned to the huddle on the near side, and Wesley Britt will be taken directly into the locker room. And from that spot, he's a very likable young man.
Yeah.
Very likable. We've gotten to know him over the last couple of years. Look at this. Sometimes words are superfluous.
You know, before the game started, the Tennessee band, when I walked down on the field, they were playing the theme music from the movie Gladiator. This is a lot like a Gladiator arena right now.
Wesley Britt goes to the locker room and then to the hospital. Jill, you got more on Shad?
Well, the thing with Shad was he saw close up what happened to his teammate and made him a little sick to his stomach, but he's got some Gatorade in him and he's ready to go.
Thanks, Jill. Third down.
Blitz look coming from the outside on Brody.
Broyles delivers. Got a man. Triandos Luke, first down at the 40-yard line.
Same kind of throw for the third down conversion that we saw Tennessee use. The quick slant, expecting pressure, get rid of the ball quickly, and try to protect your quarterback. The pressure's going to come from the outside. It's a catch the ball, take 2 quick steps back, and deliver the quick slant, and a key conversion for Alabama.
First down, Crimson Tide. This follows the turnover, the fumble recovery at the 24-yard line. Now Croyle. It's Donald Clark, his tight end. Play fake by Brody Croyle. Dances to the right, being chased. Finds a man, caught, out of bounds.
Out of bounds. And a holding penalty against Alabama. And I think the pressure came over that new left tackle, Atlas Harrion. And they actually had the tight end, Donald Clark, over there trying to help. And one of those 2 guys responsible for the hold on Kevin Burnett. And take a look. The pressure's going to come this way. Watch as they chase at the end of the play. That's Donald Clark, the tight end, number 83. Or 93, who's going to get called for the holding as Brody Croyle left the pocket.
The offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
That's our referee, Rogers Redding. Check out CBS Sportsline's scoreboard for the best live play-by-play from every top 25 college football game. Just click on NCAA football at CBSSportsline.com. First and 20, Alabama, after the penalty stepped off back at the 30-yard line. Josh Smith, number 38, is in at fullback now. Here's Croyle. Pressure from the backside, and he overthrows Hudson out in the wing. Kevin Burnett.
Well, we've talked about the injuries with Brody Croyle. He's got a left shoulder that he's going to get surgery on when the season's over. Everybody in America knows that. That's a clean hit, and any good defense, in this case, Tennessee with 2 guys coming at him, they're going to try to hit the quarterback. Jason Hall, number 94, defensive end, got the good hit. And the task for Alabama is to call plays and their offensive linemen to execute and protect their quarterback the best they can.
Hudson is in the backfield now. Smith as well. It's second down and 20. Draw play. Ray Hudson coming left, hit and driven down. Boy. And now let's go back to New York for a Pontiac high performance update. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vernon Todd, I'm going to show you an underrated quarterback, an outstanding receiver, Rashawn Woods. This is Josh Fields hitting him to make it 7-0 Oklahoma State. Rashawn Woods is one of the best wide receivers in the country. They're up on the Aggies, Dennis Franchioni's team down early, right?
All right, Tim, thank you. 3rd and 21 here. And Coyle will go from the spread offense. Blitz coming, screen pass, read beautifully. Rashad Baker, number 16.
Yeah, 3rd down and 21. There's not a lot of options, and you don't want your quarterback to hang back in the pocket for a long time, so they try to throw a screen, get it out of his hand, but Rashad Baker made an excellent read. Rashad Baker suffered in their last game against Georgia a quad injury, missed part of that game, missed all of the open week in practice, and so he's back on the field now.
That brings on Bo Freeland for the 2nd time, nice and high. And Jones comes up, signals for a fair.
That was his own man that hit him. That could be Alabama's ball. His own man ran into Mark Jones. It was not an Alabama player, and so that becomes a live football, and Alabama has it. There is a flag down on the field back around the 50-yard line, though.
And a consequent huddle. Looks like this will be waved off. Here's Rogers Redding.
We have holding against defense. The penalty for flying.
Now the last punt by Freeland was low, and Mark Jones was able to recover it. This one was high, and his own man ran into him. 43 Chris Heath is going to come back to try to protect and runs right into Mark Jones, and that distracts him from the football and hits his leg, and then that's a live football that Alabama recovers.
Now, turnovers have been a problem for the Volunteers. They are now -7 for the season, and they've lost 2 fumbles in this game. On first down from the 26, draw play, right side.
And Alabama must take advantage. They weren't able to take advantage of the first turnover. It was too deep in their own territory, but they must take advantage of this one. Last year, as you take a look at Tennessee this year, no points off the turnovers they've forced. And case in point, in their last loss to Georgia, 4 turnovers, 24 points directly off those turnovers for the Bulldogs. Last year when Alabama beat Tennessee in Knoxville, they forced 6 turnovers and they scored 21 points.
Look at that score, 16-13 Georgia UAB. Up the middle she goes. Shawn Williams, number 21. That'll leave third and a couple.
Shawn Williams is just one of those guys that you love to watch because he's patient. He knows how to run the football. He gets in behind those big linemen. He sets up blocks, and he's tough as nails. I mean, he is a great football player.
3rd and 2 at the 18. Tim Castile is in as the blocking back, and Ray Hudson is the deep back. Play fake. Croyle comes out into the flat, caught by Castile. He's got a first down at the 12, and he is going to be ruled down. He thought his knee had not touched.
And so did Mike Shula. Mike Shula was sprinting down the sideline and made it all the way down to about the 20 with a little hop, skip, and a jump. Tennessee expecting run. Good play action by Brody. Again, it's the quick throw to the fullback. It's a low tackle by Jabari Greer. Now, does his knee go down? Now, it looks like it did. It looked like the left knee hit the ground. And watch Mike Shula. He didn't think he was down. He wanted him to run all the way to the end zone. There is nothing he would like more than to take a 7-0 lead in this game. They were down 24-0 in the first quarter a week ago in Oxford.
Here's the handoff left side to Hudson. Plunges inside the 10. Tackled and down at the 8 by Rashad Baker and Constantine Ritzman.
Good hard run that time by Hudson.
There's Castile. Ritzman, who missed all of last year with a torn ACL, born in Germany, began to play club football at the age of 14. Actually went to high school in Tallahassee, under a program headed up by NFL Europe. 2nd down.
Alabama a little bit slow getting out of the huddle, down to 6 seconds on the play clock here.
Luke is in motion. Here comes the blitz. Croyle chased back, fires it off the pressure that was being applied. Now Brody Croyle has been hit hard all season long. Against Arkansas in a scramble, shoulder was separated by Tony Bua. The following week against Georgia, 2nd play, Odell Thurman. And then last week in the 4th quarter, Eric Oliver laid into him. He went on and finished the game, but it has been a pain-filled season for Brody Croyle.
He actually hurt it originally all the way back in the Oklahoma game, so it's been a bad shoulder the whole season.
3rd and 6. Blitz again. Croyle, they got him nailed at the 16-yard line by J.T. Mapu, the sophomore from Kahuku, Hawaii.
And this looks like a bust up front for Alabama, because if you're going to turn somebody loose, you never turn somebody loose that close to the quarterback. You always want to kind of seal down inside and turn the most outside most guys loose. And Philip Fulmer knows his defense. Got a big stop there to force the field goal.
That's going to bring on Brian Bostic, who has missed only 4 this season. This one from 33 yards away. Gabe Jardina will hold it. Snap down. The kick is up, and it is good. So they do get 3 out of their 2nd fumble recovery of the ball game. Alabama Crimson Tide respond to the urgings of their fallen teammate. They get 3. It has turned into a splendid Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and the Crimson Tide up by 3. Short drive following the muff and the fumble recovery. 7 plays, 11 yards, and Bostic gets the field goal.
And I know Mike Shula wanted a touchdown there, but he is glad to have anything. I mean, again, last week they got shell-shocked. It was 24-0 in the first quarter. Eli Manning just picked them apart, and turnovers led to some of that. But they just wanted to get off to a good start today, and 3-0 towards the end of the first quarter is good. We talk about this game. What are the keys to the game? It's the same for both teams. Number one is confidence. Who gains their confidence quickest? The running game, both running the football and stopping the run. Who's most successful? And turnovers, a big key already, as Alabama has a 2-0 lead in turnover margin.
4:26 to go in the first. Kyle Robinson will kick off, number 43 for the Crimson Tide. The two deep men for the Volunteers, Derek Tinsley and Corey Larkins. Alabama has controlled the football in excess of 8 minutes thus far. Here's Robinson. Drives this one. And that will be a touchback. Nice job by Kyle Robinson.
Now, this Tennessee offense, in scheme and philosophy, in plays, almost identical to the offense that Alabama saw last week at Ole Miss. David Cutcliffe, the head coach at Ole Miss, was a longtime offensive coordinator for the Volunteers. It's the same offense. That's the good news for Alabama. The bad news is it's another senior veteran quarterback leading that offense in Casey Clausen, the same kind of guy they faced last week with Eli Manning.
Well, Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, said it is exactly good news, bad news. Here's a first down and 10 for Tennessee, trailing by 3.
They're not going to get the play clock.
Yep. Called time.
See that?
In time.
I just talked about Casey Clausen being a senior veteran quarterback, and that time was caught unawares with the play clock because they came off the sideline. And you can see the play clock down to 5, and he hasn't even started into his cadence yet. And they have to waste a timeout.
Be right back. 4:26 to go first quarter. Big Al in the lead, 3-0.
When you take a look at Tennessee, I mean, the first 4 games are in their wins. They've run the football well, and the losses, not at all running the football. And that's the biggest difference in Tennessee this year. They can't count on that running game.
Here's Clausen, flips it out right side, and good play at the line of scrimmage.
See, this is not normal Tennessee offense that we were accustomed to seeing over the last several years. First down, lining up in 3 wide receivers, shotgun. I mean, they're an I formation, run the football, play action pass off the I formation, but they just have not had enough success and consistency running the football this year that they've had to kind of try to do some different things.
Second down and 10, no gain on the last play. Here's Clausen, inside pattern to Mark Jones, out to the 30, and apparently enough to move the chain.
Again, that's his best route. He has 2 routes that I think he throws exceptionally well, the slant and the deep end. And we haven't seen it in yet, but that's the second slant that we've seen Casey Clausen complete. The key to throwing a slant is to keep the ball in front of the receiver and down. Don't expose your receiver going into that part of the field. Don't make him reach up or reach back. Keep it down and in front of him, and Casey does that really well.
Split backs on first down. Jabari Davis has come into the backfield, and here's the audible by Clausen. Draw play. Davis comes left to the 35-yard line. Now let's go back to New York for a Pontiac high-performance update. Once again, here is Tim Brando.
Vernon, Todd, we've talked about Heisman-esque performances. Brad Smith had one 2 weeks ago. What happened with Oklahoma wasn't his fault. Look at this. This is a 62-yard run from scrimmage in all. 19 carries, 291 yards, 13 of 24, 128 in the air, no picks. They've hung 62 on Texas Tech.
Wow. My. Here's a reverse. Around the right side, it's Derek Tinsley, number 20. This is his first carry of the season. First time he's gotten on the stat sheet as either a wideout or a running back. Derek Tinsley, a gain of 28.
And watch Anthony Herrera, the left guard, going to get out in front of this play. Tinsley's going to come around on the reverse, but watch the left guard pull out, big number 75, and clear the way. He's going to get a block on Derek Pope, the outside linebacker, and that was the one block he needed. You get the defense flowing one way, you get one block outside, and a good play for Tennessee into Alabama territory.
Tinsley had 5 receiving touchdowns a year ago. He rushed for 261 in his career. That is the first carry or catch this season. And this pass low down around the ankles, incomplete.
You know, one of the things, and you know, Casey Clausen has not had the kind of year this year, statistically, maybe that people thought he might have or that he, you know, had in the past. But there's a couple factors to that. One factor is that his 2 best receivers are not true bona fide receivers. I mean, James Banks is a backup quarterback, and Mark Jones was a defensive back. Those are the 2 leading receivers on the team.
Jabari Davis back in. Here's Clausen looking deep, firing deep left side, incomplete.
The other factor that I think is even more important is that they have 0 catches this year from the tight end position. Last year, their leading receiver was their tight end, Jason Witten. He had 39 catches, 5 of them for touchdowns, and many of them in crucial 3rd down situations. They have 0 catches by their tight ends this year. Victor McClure, their starting tight end, is really an offensive lineman who's just an extra blocker that they have in there. And that's why you see a lot more of these 3 and 4 wide receiver sets for the Tennessee offense.
3rd and 10 and a 4 wide receiver set here. Blitz coming from Alabama. Clausen, that's up in the air, and that
could be a loose ball.
That is a fumble.
We saw no signal by the official that it was a forward pass, and a 3rd turnover now for Alabama.
Juwan Garth, number 42, was the first to arrive at Casey Clausen.
And Clausen has to know this is coming because Alabama is showing 0 coverage. What I mean by that is there is no safety. Juwan Garth is going to come unblocked from the outside, and Clausen has to know when nobody goes to the deep middle, somebody's unblocked. He tried to get rid of the football, but the 3rd turnover for Alabama stops Tennessee.
Timeout, Tennessee.
3 points for Alabama, 3 turnovers for the Alabama Crimson Tide defense as well. Watch Juwan Garth. Casey Clausen never got his arm coming forward. That's a good call. It was a fumble, the ball up in the air. D'Amico Ryans is the guy who comes up with the recovery. And again, Alabama has to take advantage of the turnover in the good field position.
This is the 2nd time the Crimson Tide has started in Alabama's territory. Sean Williams tries to skip to the outside. He picks up 5 before the tackle is made by Kevin Simon. Doubleheader, the NFL coming up for you tomorrow. Lead game, Denver at Baltimore, Cleveland, New England, or Tennessee at Jacksonville, and then at 4:15 Eastern, the Jets visit Philadelphia, Houston at Indianapolis. And it all begins with the quartet in New York. Jim, Dan Marino, Deion Sanders, and Boomer Esiason. Doubleheader, the NFL on CBS tomorrow. 2nd and 6. Castile and Sean Williams in the backfield. Here comes a blitz, and Williams beats it to the 39-yard line. 1st down, Alabama.
Last week, Ole Miss held Sean Williams to 63 yards on only 18 carries. Take a look as he takes this one to the left. Follows the block by his fullback. And just you see his eyes are always looking to the next defender, that next guy who's going to make the tackle, and he gets about 4 or 5 extra yards. You don't expect a guy who's not a big back to get a lot of yards after contact, but Shaw does because he has excellent vision.
1st down and 10 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Here's Coyle, quick flip left side. Pass is complete. Now let's go back to New York for a Pontiac High Performance update. Once again, here's Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, Wake Forest in a very big game against Florida State today. Corey Randolph, 38 yards the pass to Jason Anderson. Again, Florida State in good shape as a one-loss team. They've got to take care of business today against the Demon Deacons.
Now, Tim, there are a bunch of one-loss teams out there that need to take care of business. 2nd down and 10 here. That's Leandros Luke in motion. Handoff goes to Tim Castile, number 29. as the seconds wind down to end the first quarter. Tim Castile, we mentioned his dad Jeremiah was an All-American earlier this season. Castile became only the 8th true freshman in this lengthy history of Alabama football to start his first game. That, of course, the freshman eligible rule started only in 1973. That's the end of the first quarter. With our score 3-0 Crimson Tide. We'll return to Bryant-Denny Stadium after this message and this word from your local station. Just a couple of legends, Bear Bryant, General Robert Nealand, and those of a certain age will recognize Hank Loricella, just to the left of the screen. My age.
You're young at heart, though, my man.
Thank you, sir. Keeping up with you is a challenge. 3rd down and 7. Out of the shotgun. Brody Croyle. Here comes the blitz again. Croyle back. He's hit after. That's a goal, man open. Pass incomplete. Flag is down. Yeah. Brandon Greer was the intended receiver.
And the area where the flag was down could be defensive holding against Tennessee on Lance Taylor. That's what it looks like it might be. Nice job by Ray Hudson stepping up in the middle and stopping that blitz. Oh, no, illegal man downfield.
And Croyle took another hit right after he delivered the ball.
Well, I talked to Brody yesterday, and I said, you know, do you think about it, you know, getting hit and trying to protect your left shoulder at all? And he says, no, you know, once the game starts, you can't think about it. You just have to play. And he's obviously a tough guy. He's going to get surgery when the season's over, and he's just going to play through the pain. And then, you know, he just tries to avoid, or they try to avoid, putting him in a situation where he's going to take a direct hit on that left shoulder. But it's hard to do that.
Early second quarter, but really a key drive here for Alabama.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and they got stopped here on the 3rd down play. When you have turnovers, you have to be able to convert it into points, and they've only got 3 to show for it.
So the punt is forthcoming. Bo Freeland. 3 fumble recoveries,
nice
3
punt.
turnovers. It was a nice punt.
Sometimes a guy with a strong leg, and both the kickers in this game, the punters, have excellent leg strength. Sometimes it's hard for those guys to kick the pop-up punt. Bo Freeland did it perfectly that time.
Smokey's howling.
He's saying, hold on to the football!
Oh, you got me. Jabari Davis is tackled by Derek Pope. Well, Smokey, this is number 8. And the 50th anniversary of Smokey being on the sidelines. It all started the season opener versus Mississippi State, September 26th, 1953. There have been 8 Smokies in all. The Reverend W.C. Brooks and the Hudson family have been the sole suppliers of the Blue Tick and Coonhound.
Good-looking dog.
You know, I knew you did the Aflac duck. I didn't know you had the hound in you. Out to the 15-yard line. Chris Hannon. Now let's go back to New York for a Pontiac high-performance update. Once again, here's Tim.
Last year, Bowling Green went into Northern Illinois 8-0, came away with their first loss today. The Huskies are 7-0, and Josh Harris 30 yards to James Hawkins. All the fly in the ointment, fellas, might be caught in a web. 14-0 Bowling Green.
I got to tell you, Tim, we love out here watching where that fly moves around the country each week.
Bowling Green, alma mater of my dad, Ron Blackledge, watching that game, I'm sure. Back and forth between ours.
That's right, absolutely. Out of the backfield, first down the sidelines. This one caught by C.J. Phaeton, number 17. His 6th catch of the season.
A nice conversion that time by Casey Clausen, very calm. And he's played in a lot of big games. Good start for him, other than the fumble where thought he had protection and ended up getting hit and losing the football, but throwing the football very well so far in this ball game.
First down at the 25, 3-0. Jabari Davis, the running back, gets the handoff and comes right. Nice defensive play at the line of scrimmage by the Crimson Tide. Well, Jill mentioned at the outset of the day that Casey Clausen's first start was against Alabama. You can see 4 touchdowns in 2000, 2001, nothing last year. 3 interceptions in that loss at home last week. And this has been a series, Todd, of streaks.
Yeah, sure has. Sure has. Alabama's win last year ended a long winning streak by Tennessee.
On 2nd down and 8. Clausen. And off right side against the big back Davis out to the 30-yard lines. Tackle made by Mark Anderson. Now Alabama streak of 7. Then you see Tennessee, Alabama streaks of 6 and 11. Tennessee, a big win for them in 1995. You talk to the coaching staff, they all remember that at Tennessee as a very significant victory. 3rd and 6 at the 30, 3-0 to score. Blitz. Clausen in and out of the hands and almost picked out. Mark Jones was the intended receiver and Charles Jones was the near receiver.
And a big stop for the Alabama defense. They came with pressure, but it was a zone pressure. And Casey Clausen throwing hot. Even if he makes that catch, he probably is tackled short of the 1st down. So good defense that time by Alabama enforcing the punt situation. And this, go ahead.
Nope. Dustin Colquitt, who may be the best weapon that Tennessee has. That's where I was going.
He is an outstanding football player.
Colquitt leads the SEC. He's 5th in the country in punt average. And this one high and deep, and Sean Williams does not call the fair catch and returns it to the 28-yard line. Hearts beating rapidly. 44-yard punt, 2 on the return for Dustin Colquitt. CBS Sports coverage of Home Depot continues after this word and your local station. Best seat in the house at the Bryant-Denny Stadium from the 1-800 Medicare light ship, flying 1,000 feet above the stadium with aerial coverage of today's game. 1st down and 10. Brody Croyle 5 of 19, 1 sack thus far. Hand off to Sean Williams out to the 31-yard line.
Tennessee player is down on the field right now. Well, we've seen a couple injuries early in this game. That's Rashad Baker, who had a quad injury a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This looks like it might be a knee injury this time. Rashad Baker was the only first-team All-SEC player returning to Tennessee's team this year. An outstanding safety. The secondary of this Tennessee defense was considered to be the real strength of the defense. Take a look. Here's Baker right here, blocked by Dre Fulgham. He looks okay right there, but then at the end of the play, and we saw this with Wesley Britt, it was his own guy, Jabril Wilson, the other safety, rolled into his left leg.
Time has been called, and we'll return to Tuscaloosa in just a moment. 3-0 in this one. 2nd quarter, 11:37. Rashad Baker assisted to the bench, favoring that left knee.
We talked about which team could gain their confidence quickest in this game. With 11 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 1st half, I think it's still kind of a draw. Even though Alabama has the lead and has forced the turnovers, Tennessee's defense has kind of held them to 3 points.
2nd and 8 on this play. Again, the blitz threatening draw play. Williams comes left, cuts back out to the 35-yard line. Now let's go down to Jill for the SEC moment presented by Sonic. Jill?
Vern, Tennessee hadn't beaten Alabama in 10 years going into the 95 game, but the Vols set the tone early with this Joey Kent touchdown on the 1st play of the game. Alabama attempted to make it a game as Freddie Kitchens got the Tide to within 14 points, but they would not get any closer as Jay Graham and the Vols broke out of their slump winning the game 41-14. Now, that was the beginning of their own streak, winning the next 7 games.
Which, of course, ended last week when last year, rather. Here's Coyle from the backside. Ritzman got there about the time Brody Coyle delivered it, and he's going to be very slow getting up.
Well, every time he gets hit, he's going to be hurt. I mean, there's just no avoiding it. Just like there's really no way to avoid being hit if you're a quarterback. That's Atlas Harrion, the left tackle, who's in for the injured Wesley Britt, and Constantine Ritzman, who's a very fast speed rush guy. Just got it.
There's John Coyle, Brody's dad, and a great player here in the mid-70s. And the punt by Bo Freeland. Mark Jones awaits it, has it at the 23-yard line. A lot of room. Slips and is down as he gets to the 38. 42-yard punt, 15-yard return. Brody Coyle, the sophomore, being the recipient of attention on the bench. John Coyle can hardly look. All right, Tim, Brody Coyle on the bench. Brandon Avalos, who is the backup receiver, redshirt freshman, warming up. He saw his first action after Spencer Pennington and Coyle both were knocked out in the game at Georgia. Avalos with one start. That was a win at home 2 weeks ago here against Southern Miss. Here's Clausen, left side, on a rope, and caught, and a missed tackle. That's caught by James Banks, number 11. And he picks up additional yardage after the slip tackle. It's Jason Swain, number 1.
Jason Swain is a young receiver, a freshman from Alabama, from Huntsville, Alabama, played at Grissom High School. Big cushion out there, so he has room. And then a missed tackle. You give him the cushion, then you better make sure you make that tackle, and Swain turns it into a good reception.
Well, it was 1 instead of 11. I see double occasionally, but it's usually after 11 o'clock. First down and 10. Pass too high, incomplete. And a 2nd and 10 coming up. 2 fumbles and a punt thus far.
And again, you know, I've seen a lot of Tennessee games over the years, and the biggest difference right now is this team's inability to rely on their running game. And that has just been such the cornerstone of how they've played football, and they just haven't been able to count on it.
And they have had such heralded running backs in the last couple of years. 2nd and 10. 46-yard line. Here's Clausen. Good protection. But the pass incomplete, intended for Banks.
Too high. He's got to get that ball down for James Banks. He had one-on-one. He had the first down, but he's got to give him a more catchable pass. You take a look at what Tennessee has done running the football through the years, and they've always been towards the top end in the SEC, but this year, coming into today's game, 10th in the SEC out of 12 teams. That is just so uncharacteristic for this team. That's Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator, and it's really changed the way they've had to try to play football this year on the offensive side.
Alabama will bring 4 on 3rd and 10. Screen pass and a nice defensive play. David Scott, number 23.
David Scott is an extra defensive back who's in there in a dime type situation, and he read the screen and he got a hold of one leg and said, I'm not leaving until James Banks gets down on the ground. He said, somebody come and help me, but I'm not letting go.
And he did not, and as a result, Dustin Colquitt is on to punt. Shaud Williams at the 10-yard line. Might be perfect. And it's a yard short of perfect.
Yep.
That's a touchback, and let's go down to Jill Arrington.
Well, Brody Croyle is one tough guy. He is heading back on the field as we speak. They just looked at that shoulder, and it's a pain tolerance thing. If you can imagine, he's getting back out there, but he's got nicks and cuts all over his body. Now, I have an update as well on Wesley Britt. It is a compound fracture. He's already at the hospital in Birmingham, and they will have surgery on him tomorrow. And as far as Tennessee goes, Rashad Baker, it looks like an MCL sprain in that left knee. They're icing it down. It looks like he won't return in the game. They're going to evaluate him more at halftime.
All right, Joe, thank you.
The problem for Alabama is they can't protect Brody Croyle with the game plan here. They can't beat Tennessee the way they beat Southern Miss by running it 50 times and throwing it 10 or 12 times. They've got to mix it up. They've got to leave him exposed in throwing the football some.
Tip by Tennessee's defense. Jabari Greer knocks it away.
Nice play by Jabari Greer. Now here's Brody Croyle today. Again, this Tennessee defense, maybe not as strong as they've been the last few years, but they are ready to play today. And they know they've got a wounded quarterback, and they're going to go after him. Obviously, Tennessee knows their chances of winning this game increase if Brody Croyle is either ineffective or can't finish the game.
Second down, 10. Blitz look again. They are coming. There's Dre Fulgham with a little slant pattern, and that's going to move the chain. First down.
The reason that Fulgham hangs on to this football is because he's a strong guy. He's a 217-pound wide receiver who bench presses over 450 pounds. Good protection for Brody Croyle, but watch Fulgham. When he gets it, he hangs on to it, even though he takes a good shot at the end of the reception. But he is a strong, physical wide receiver and wasn't affected by the contact.
That's the longest pass of the game for Alabama. It gives them a first down at the 31. Williams gets a block. Right side. Spins out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. A gain of 11. Tim Castile.
Yeah, this is a counter play, a counter trap. And what they do is they lead with the fullback and the backside guard. Those two guys get out there and seal the corner for him. There's the blocks right there, and that's all that Shaw needed to get to the corner. Sometimes you pull the backside guard and tackle. In this case, it's the fullback and the backside guard leading the way for Shawn Williams.
After Williams is down, the chain is brought on. They do measure, and they do give Alabama a first down and 10. With 8:47 to go, first half of play.
Talking about Tim Castile, the fullback earlier, I was talking to his dad, Jeremiah, down on the field. I mean, Jeremiah looks like he could still play. I mean, he is in great shape, and he was ready to go before the game, and it looks like his son's ready to go as well.
Now they load up on the left side on first down and 10. That's Castile. Croyle gives it off. Hudson bounces to the outside. Got some speed and got some room. Goes for the stiff arm. He draws air with that, but he's got a first down after a 28-yard gallop.
And a missed tackle, which has plagued Tennessee, set this up. Hudson is going to be hit right in the hole by Kevin Burnett, but he bounces off of the tackle and gets to the outside. Any back that's worth his salt is not going to come down if you don't wrap your arms around him. Hudson bounced off the contact in the hole, and for Tennessee, their 5th missed tackle of the game, and that one very costly.
And that is the longest game of the season for Hudson. Here's Croyle being chased right. Fires it and just wanted to get rid of it. Yep. Well, those of you who follow us each week, we know you sit on the edge of your seats waiting for the moment when we present the Aflac Trivia Question of the Week. Prior to last year, this year, I beg your pardon, I get excited when, you know, get the duck. Name the last Tennessee junior to be voted team captain. There are junior co-captains of this year's team. Kevin Burnett. Second down and 10. Draw play. What a nifty move.
Well, they fooled John Chavis in Tennessee that time. Tennessee was thinking pass on 2nd and 10, and Alabama went with a 2 tight end set and ran power football. They moved everybody over to this side. They outnumbered them on that side of the line of scrimmage. Tennessee thinking pass. They didn't have enough defenders over there. And it was an excellent play call by Dave Rader and Mike Shula to go power run on 2nd and 10 and get the first down.
First down from the 20. Shawn Williams, a 55-yard effort so far. Hudson back in the lineup, and he squeezes out a yard or two. And time once again to go back to New York for a Pontiac high-performance update.
That's right, play-by-play breath. I've got something for you, Vern. Florida State's Leon Washington gathers it in. Say goodbye. 65 yards. 17-7 over the Demon Deacons. Back to Vern and Todd.
All right, Tim. By the way, we have agreed here in the booth that we had a near fly in the ointment today. That would be UAB in Georgia. Georgia hangs on to win by 3, 16-13. Out of the backfield, Castile. Well, every day that Tim Castile goes into the weight room, he feels the gaze of his father.
He was an excellent player, All-American cornerback, played for the Broncos, played for the Buccaneers. And Tim has a younger brother, Simeon, who is a senior in high school at Briarwood Christian. They lost a tough game last night to Homewood High School, a big game in high school football in the Birmingham area. Mike Shula calling for a timeout. Brody sees it and will make his way over to the sideline on this critical 3rd and 1 play.
Time called Alabama. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. 6:43 to go in the first half. 3-0 Alabama. And they face a critical 3rd down. 9th play of the drive. A drive that started at Alabama's 20-yard line.
And if you want to seize confidence in the game, you convert this 3rd down by being more physical, and then you ultimately get the ball in the end zone for a touchdown.
LaRon McClain is the fullback. Shawn Williams the tailback. It will be Williams left side. 1st and goal. Crimson Tide.
Big block in there by the junior tight end David Cavan. Number 87 clearing the way. Dennis Alexander, the backside guard, also with a nice block in there. And again, Shawn Williams, he has good vision and he has patience. A lot of backs on 3rd and 1, they're going to hit it up in there as fast as they can, but he waits and allows it to set up and then finds a crease and gets a first down.
With a 3-0 lead, Alabama now with a 1st down and goal from the 7. I formation. Coyle will throw it. Has a lot of time. Nobody open. Dances right. He's going to run. Alexander with the attempted block.
He took a shot, too.
Did he ever.
At the end of the play, he took a real shot. You know, and Brody said, the thing I'm trying to do when I run is I'm trying to slide more and get out of bounds. But when you're that close to the goal line, you're not going to slide and you're not going to get out of bounds. You're going to try to get in the end zone. That's why Brody didn't slide here. He wants to score. He knew he was going to run, and instead of sliding and avoiding the hit, he's trying to get in the end zone, and he paid for it at the end of the play.
Now you see John and his mom.
That just has to be brutal for them watching this.
Yep.
Just brutal.
I formation. 2nd down.
Fumbled the snap.
Flags are down.
They have a dead ball foul. False start for an illegal snap against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, this is a break for Tennessee. Deep by their own goal line. And boy, that just was an ugly play from the very beginning.
Sure
and
was.
Actually, it could have been worse. I mean, Alabama lucky that wasn't a fumble recovered by Tennessee. As it is, they go back 5 yards to the 8-yard line.
Second and goal. Well played. Williams out of traffic, cutting left. back to the 4-yard line. Justin Harrell, number 92, who sat out the first 5 games of the year, got back in last week. He made the tackle.
He had a fractured ankle in preseason, and they were really counting on him to help on this defensive line. A redshirt freshman out of Martin, Tennessee, played at Westview High School. And that's the one thing that's different about this Tennessee defense this year, is they don't have the dominant defensive linemen that they've had over the last several years. They've had to replace so many guys. They've got some good young-looking defensive linemen, but they just haven't had the dominant players like they've had in the last few years.
3rd and goal. Coyle, quick setup, up in the air, contact, flag.
Late. They went against the freshman, Antoine Stewart. And I think the reason that there's going to be a flag is because Stewart never looked for the football. Even though there's no such thing as face guarding in college football, Antoine Stewart never made a play on the football and went into the receiver.
We have 2 flags. We have 2 fouls, both against the defense. We have a personal foul against the defense. That penalty is declined. We have pass interference against the defense. That penalty is accepted. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line, first down.
Trying to go to Fulgham, and you see Stewart had no idea where the football was. And because he didn't know where the football was, he ran into the receiver. He pushed off the receiver, Fulgham, and he got the penalty.
And a 1st and goal at the 2. Hand off, 1 yard. That's Shaud Williams again. Now John and T. Croyle, mom and dad, and his mother Teresa, who goes by the nickname of T, finds it very difficult to even watch.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. 12 plays, 79 yards, 2nd down. 3-0 Crimson Tide. McLean the fullback. Shaud Williams is the tailback. Gets it. Goes left.
Nice.
Good tackle. Was it ever. Robert Peace, number 41.
Really nice play by the middle linebacker, doing what a middle linebacker is supposed to do. Scrape off and fill the hole. The linemen occupy the blockers, and the linebackers scrape and make the play. Number 41 is going to slip right in there and make the nice tackle. You see how he wrapped his arms up? He wasn't going to let go of Shaud Williams. Really nice play by the senior out of Ruston, Louisiana.
And this lengthy drive continues, but Alabama is forced to use a timeout. They have 1 remaining. We have 3 minutes to go first half. 3rd and goal when we come back. Coming up, the Earthlink halftime report, scores and highlights from around the country. We'll go back to New York with Tim and Spencer.
And not to sound too dramatic, but this is a huge play, potentially a season-turning play for both of these teams. We talked about both of them trying to reverse a losing trend and finish strong. This may be the play that does it for one of them.
Wide receivers left and right. The tight end sets up tight to the left. That's Cavan. Play fake. Croyle back in trouble. Yes, it certainly was.
Busted play. I think they were going to try to run that to Shaud Williams, and for whatever reason, Brody Croyle couldn't get the handoff to him. The way the linemen moved on this, it looked like a run. They were going to try to show pass and run, but watch Brody Croyle. He misses the handoff, and then he has to hold the football. That was a run all the way, and Brody Croyle not able to make the exchange, and now a field goal attempt. A big stop for the Tennessee defense.
That brings on Brian Bostic, a 27-yard field goal attempt. He is 1 for 1, and a bobbled hold. The holder, Jardina, fumbled the snap.
What a turnaround for Tennessee. Their backs against the wall. They get the goal line stand. They force the field goal, and then Jason Allen, the sophomore cornerback, is the guy who's going to get the block. You mentioned the bobbled snap. That threw off the timing. There's the bobble. And then when he did kick it, it was low. And Jason Allen able to knock the ball down. Jason Allen was up there now. I mean, he was up in the air.
The snap from Nick Ridings appeared okay. And on first down from the 20, here's Cedric Houston. A 16-yard gain. Well, fresh life for Tennessee with 2:09 to go. They have 2 timeouts remaining.
Boy, oh boy, what a turn of momentum in the football game. Moments ago, they were lined up in their own end zone trying to play defense.
Alabama had the ball for 7:14. Man, wide open, it's Banks. James Banks. Jones makes the tackle at the 14-yard line.
This is so familiar. When they beat Florida earlier in the year in Gainesville, the first half, Florida was controlling the game, dominating the game, and right at the end of the half, Clausen threw a Hail Mary to James Banks, and they went in leading 7-3 at halftime. Charlie Peppra was beat on that play, and right now Tennessee inside the red zone with a chance to take the lead here.
Time has been called. 1:50 remaining in the half. Alabama leads it 3-0, but Tennessee threatens. Philip Fulmer's team trying to get on the board before the break. They've got the ball at the 14-yard line. 1st and 10, 1:50 to go. 2 wide receivers wide left, 1 split off to the right. Backs in the eye. Clausen looking left all the way in the corner, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Tony Brown.
Looked like a pretty good throw by Clausen. They had single coverage. He was the inside receiver working on a safety, Roman Harper, and it looked like Clausen put it in the right spot, just a little bit long to the corner.
And a 2nd down and 10. Phillips got to work hard to get all that out. Cedric Houston, Troy Fleming in the backfield. Here's Clausen. Looks like the same play.
Yeah.
And a flag.
Late flag.
Wow.
And that was an uncatchable pass. I mean, Roman Harper did make a little contact, but that ball looked like it was way over the head of the intended receiver. This time what Alabama did was they jumped up and showed blitz, and Tennessee did run the same play, but then they bailed out and played zone behind it, and there was nowhere to go with the football. Now the question is, was it a catchable pass or not? See, Alabama jumped out and played zone, so this play's no good against zone. There's the contact by Roman Harper, and the question is, could he have had a chance to make the catch or not?
There is no foul. There's no foul. The ball was ruled uncatchable. Uncatchable.
I think that's the right call. I really do. I don't think that was a catchable pass. It was a little bit of contact, true, by Roman Harper, but I don't think that ball had a chance to be caught by the intended receiver.
And it brings up 3rd and 10 with 1:40 to go before the break.
They're going to have to fix the play clock because it's still going. It's down to 7, 5. Now they're going to reset it now. There they go. Back up to 25 for Casey Clausen. Still a lot of time here, 1:40, but they've gone nowhere in 2 plays on 2 incomplete passes.
Banks, wide right, Charlie Peppra up on him. Blitz look.
Yeah, blitz look, but they're going to drop out, I bet, like they did on that last play. They're showing blitz.
And the receiver, Banks, slipped and fell. And here is Clausen looking for Banks, ad-libbing, and finds him. And Banks is down at the 13-yard line. That was extraordinary.
It was bizarre. I mean, it looked like his legs just buckled. I mean, James Banks just went straight down. And it appears that James Banks may have been the intended receiver. Watch James Banks. When the ball is snapped, he's just going to go down. I mean, he just went down. You know what I think happened? I think that he was leaning forward and he didn't want to jump off sides, and he just lost his balance and he fell down. I have never seen anything like that.
I had a nephew who had a groomsman get knee lock at his wedding and went over sideways like that. I've never seen anything since. Timeout, 51 seconds to go. Well, my goodness. It will be 4th down when play resumes, and it's time for us to answer the trivia question. There are 2 junior co-captains, Kevin Burnett and Michael Munoz, prior to this year, named the last Tennessee junior to be voted team captain. I think you've got to really be a serious Tennessee fan to get this one. Bob Dobelstein in 1944. He was a guard. He played in 42, 44, and 45, and he was a 1944 All-American. Kevin Burnett, one of the co-captains. There's 6 captains this year, 4 seniors, 2 juniors. Michael Munoz is the other. You know what? It gives me a chance, just while we're spending a little time here, to mention the passing of 2 men this past week and a half. Dee Andros, the great coach at Oregon State, passed away recently at 79. And Charlie Choo-Choo Justice, All-American, runner-up to Leon Hart and Doak Walker for the Heisman Trophy in the late 40s. He died week before last at the age of 79. Great men in this wonderful sport. 4th down.
Well, we saw Tennessee retake the momentum, maybe have the confidence edge, and now Alabama may get it right back here.
James Wilhite, 5 for 10 for the year. Up. Nailed it from 31 yards away.
You talk about playing a game for 60 minutes, or in the case of playing in the first half, playing for all 30 minutes. I mean, what an exciting last 2 minutes of this football game. And when Tennessee lost 2 weeks ago to Georgia, it was a play right at the end of the half that really turned the entire football game. Georgia was winning the game 13-7, but Tennessee had driven down and was about to score to take a 14-13 lead. And here was the play right on the goal line. The ball hit the fullback, Troy Fleming, and instead of Tennessee taking a 14-13 lead, Georgia's Sean Jones scooped it up, took it to the other end zone, and Georgia went into the locker room with a 19-6 lead, or 19-7 lead, and Tennessee never, ever recovered from that play. Even though they had 15, 20 minutes to think about in the locker room and to shake it off, they never shook it off, and they got blown out in the second half. Critical plays here by both teams at the end of this half.
And of course, you can think back to you mentioned it earlier, the Tennessee-Florida game. Just the opposite occurred at the end of the game. Casey Clausen hits James Banks with a Hail Mary, and Florida never recovered in that one.
I mean, the last 2 minutes, everybody knows the last 2 minutes of a game are critical, but the last 2 minutes of a half are also very critical. You just cannot relax until you get into that locker room and get the Gatorade.
Here is the kick, and a fair catch taken at the 26-yard line. And let's check in with Jill Arrington on the sideline. More on Brodie Croyle. Jill.
Well, Todd and Vern, it was interesting on that last drive by Alabama, on that last offensive drive. Brodie Croyle came off the field several times, pointing to his shoulder and saying, "No way, I can't do that play." So there's certain plays that he's not comfortable with his arm hurting so bad and doing. It looks like it's those left-handed pass-offs, handoffs to some of the guys. It just is excruciating pain. So I wondered if that may be a reason why they missed that opportunity trying to score on the last drive.
Great point, Joe. I mean, they missed the handoff exchange with Shad Williams on the 3rd down play. Remember, Brodie scrambled and got hit trying to score.
Here's Williams. He got a great block from Tyrone Procro. Holy cow. Shad Williams, 44 yards. Watch the block from number 4.
And he's a true freshman, and he only weighs 176 pounds. You cannot relax until halftime is over. Missed tackles, and then Tyrone Procro. There's 1 block. There's 2 blocks by the true freshman out of Heflin, Alabama, And just when Tennessee thought they could ease up a little bit, Shaud Williams puts Alabama right back in scoring territory. What an unbelievable final 2 minutes to this half.
16 carries, 107 first half yards for Shaud Williams. Here's Croyle. Goes deep left side. Zach Fletcher incomplete.
Nice coverage. Nice coverage by Jason Allen, because that ball was pretty well thrown to Fletcher, but Allen was right there.
Well, remember the botched play at the goal line last possession.
It was clearly a handoff, and he's handing off with his right arm, but he took bad footwork. His steps were bad, and that's why he missed the exchange and had to run it. But a couple plays before that, he had scrambled and tried to score and took a good shot on that left shoulder.
2nd and 10. Here's Croyle back. Chased. Hit as he goes down. And hit from the backside by Paris Harrelson. 23 seconds to go.
Paris Harrelson has had a nice season for Tennessee. Sophomore defensive end. 3 sacks coming into today. 2 of them came in the win over Florida. And when they played Georgia a couple weeks ago, I mean, he got a cut on his chin and had to leave the game, went in the locker room, got stitched up, and came back out and played the rest of the game.
Brian Bostic ready if he's called upon. His longest of the season is 48 yards. He, like the Alabama Crimson Tide, hoping to get a touchdown out of this. Here comes the corner blitz. Croyle, right side, pro throw out of his hands. Went through. And Bostic's going to come on. Now, just on the last drive that lasted for 7 minutes and 41 seconds, Bostic had what amounts to a lob wedge.
Right.
And this one's a little farther out. That one blocked after the poor hold. This is 48 yards. It would equal his season long.
Remember, Jason Allen blocked the last one, coming right from the middle, jumping up right in there, number 18.
Good snap, good hole, kick on the way. Got it!
Well, this time they connect. Good snap, good hold, good kick. And Alabama, trying to seize control, takes a 6-3 lead.
Seconds to go. Kick taken by Corey Larkins, number 23, from the left, right rather, out of bounds. And let's revisit that run by Shaud Williams.
Well, it was a 44-yard run on a draw play that everybody runs in their 2 minute, and you just run it to basically run out the clock. But because of some missed tackles and a little letdown by the Tennessee defense, plus some nice blocks by a freshman receiver, Shaud Williams turned it into a big 44-yard run, got out of bounds, and set up a field goal that gave them the lead in the first half. But the point is, Tennessee, that should have never happened. I mean, their defense had done a nice job stopping the run for the most part in this first half until that play.
Brody Croyle is going to get an early start into the locker room.
Well, he's wearing a couple braces on that shoulder to try to hold it in place. They'll probably go in and tighten those things up the best they can for the second half.
There's Clausen on first down. Screen pass left side. Cedric Houston out to the 40-yard line.
Penalty flag at the end of the play.
Yes, there is.
Teams are running off. Well, Alabama's running off because they don't see the penalty flag, but it's right by the Tennessee sideline.
After the play was over, we have a dead ball, personal foul here. The penalty will be enforced at the beginning of the second half.
Well, Tennessee will receive the ball to start the second half, and that means that Alabama will have to kick off from their own 20. So Tennessee can make their plans to come out of the locker room and start with good field position. I don't see a penalty there. It must have happened away from the football. but nonetheless a costly penalty for Alabama.
And let's go down to Jill Arrington, who is with Mike Shula.
Now, Coach Shula, you've had a number of missed opportunities in this first half that you couldn't fully capitalize on as much as you probably wanted to. How much did that last score, though, help you going into the halftime to play a complete game?
Well, I think it helped us. Yeah, we didn't take advantage of the turnovers. And then we botched up down there on our own, on their goal line. But, Shaw made a great play just right at the end. It got some momentum. Even our defense, after giving up 2 big plays, they kept their poise. They kept them out of the end zone, held them to 3 points, which was nice. And those are the things that we talked about last week about we didn't do well, and we did that well here. And then we got 3 points right at the end, so that helps. Hopefully we get a little momentum and come out and play. We got to execute a lot better and do some things better on 1st and 10 so we get out of the second long situations.
And, Coach, how much is Brody's injury helping or hurting your play calling?
Well, I think it's some things we can still do, and there's just a couple things maybe we're going to stay away from, but really not too much. He just got hit on it, a little bit of pain, but he's a tough kid. He's fine, and he's going to help us win this game.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Joe, thank you. End of the half, 6-3 here. Let's go back. Jill Arrington had a chat with Tennessee coach Phil Fulmer.
Coach Fulmer, you stressed before the game how important it was to play consistent football. With these 3 turnovers, what did you tell your team about getting out here and turning this thing around?
Well, we've got another half to play consistent football and take care of the ball. Our defense has really bowed its neck a couple times pretty well. We've got to play better offensively and take care of the football and not give Alabama so much. They're a good team without us helping them so much.
All right, Coach, good luck. Thanks.
All right, Brody Croyle comes back on the field, separated shoulder and all. Third quarter, when we come back, Tennessee gets the ball. We resume the rivalry. Start of the third quarter. Tennessee trailing Alabama 6-3. These two teams have played each other every year since 1928, with the exception of 43 during World War II. Recall there was a dead ball foul at the end of the half. 15-yard penalty assessed against Alabama on the kickoff. Kyle Robinson will kick off from his own 20-yard line. Larkins and Tinsley are the deep men. And this is Corey Larkins across the 30, 40, and Tennessee will start with very good field position now. The beneficiaries of that dead ball foul at the end of the half. Impressions of the first half, Todd?
Well, I think Alabama kind of got their confidence back first. I mean, Tennessee with the turnovers, those really sap your confidence when you turn the football over. But as Philip Fulmer told Jill, their defense really bowed their necks and kept Alabama out of the end zone. So I think that Alabama played better in the first half. They had the lead. Tennessee needs to take advantage of this good field position to start the second half and do something with their offense.
And they've got a first down at their own 41-yard line. Backs in the eye. Casey Clausen hands it off. Big room around the left side. And that is Houston. Number 21. Well, you talked about keys as you saw them for prevailing in this game.
Well, the first thing was the confidence. Alabama had 9 more minutes of possession time. They also ran 13 more plays. They outrushed Tennessee, and of that 46 yards rushing, 28 came on the reverse, and then the turnovers 3-0. But a good run there to start the third quarter, and Tennessee across the 50-yard line.
Houston is the deep back in the eye. Tony Brown in motion wide to the right. And Houston comes through the gap at left guard down to the 45-yard line, tackled by Jeremy Clark. Statistically at the half, turnovers 3-0.
Yep. And rushing yards, but I like what I see from Tennessee coming right out of the locker room. 2 plays, tight end in the game, I formation, running behind Michael Munoz, their junior captain. This is Tennessee football. This is their identity that they've had a hard time, just keeping throughout this season.
Running play again, big hole. And it's Houston inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. Tackle by Charles Jones, a gain of 12.
Now this is pure Tennessee football of the olden days right now. Watch Michael Munoz. Watch him clear it out. He takes his man out. Nice block by the fullback. That's Troy Fleming, and 3 great running plays in a row for Tennessee.
Munoz, the co-captain, left side. Last 3 games, they have averaged only 61 yards per game. First down. This is the 4th consecutive running play to open this quarter. And Houston gets down to the 28-yard line. The tackle made by D'Amico Ryan.
See, the problem for Tennessee's offense right now, I think, that the 2 biggest problems, I think their backs are good. They may not be great all-SEC backs, but I think Cedric Houston is really a good back. I think their offensive line is good, but not great. But they don't have wide receivers that scare you, and so people can really load up on their run, and they don't have a tight end that's a threat to catch the football. So that makes teams able to really zone in on stopping the Tennessee run.
Here's the handoff. Houston going right. Well, those wide receivers last year and the year before, Kelly Washington, Dante Stallworth.
Yeah.
The tight end, Jason Witten. Very good players.
All playing on Sunday.
Yes.
No, I mean, they just don't have those kind of guys. There's Randy Sanders, and he knows. I mean, he's playing with a different type of offense right now. I mean, again, your leading receiver is your backup quarterback. Your second leading receiver is a converted defensive back. You figure it out.
3rd and 3. Ball at the 25, opening drive, 3rd quarter. Banks in at quarterback, and Banks on the run. James Banks scores.
Excellent play called by Randy Sanders. Power football, run it, and then a little trick play on 3rd down. Bring Banks in. Now watch Victor McClure. He's the tight end who's going to come in and get the key block. It's a quarterback draw all the way. He gets a block. Right there it is. And that enables Banks to cut past that block and get to the end zone.
The extra point attempt is up and good. Little trickeration. James Banks, 25 yards. Tennessee touchdown. They lead by 4. Well, perfect play called at the perfect time. Casey Clausen goes out at a wide receiver. James Banks comes back in the quarterback formation in the shotgun.
Yeah.
Gets a direct snap and scores from 25 yards out.
And even though it was a trick play, you know, Alabama wasn't clued into it because they broke the huddle with Banks as a wide receiver the way they always would. Casey Clausen called the play from the same spot, but they fooled him when they lined up.
So opening drive, 59 yards, touchdown, and the kick. James Wilhite, Ray Hudson. Take a knee. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Well, let's start with the huddle. Casey Clausen is going to call the play. All right, here he is right here. That's Casey. Now watch when he breaks the huddle. Instead of getting behind the center, he's going to go out to the wide receiver spot. And James Banks, the wide receiver, who is also the backup quarterback, he lines up at quarterback. And now watch the block by Munoz right here. There's one, just drives his guy. Excellent job. They ran the ball behind Michael Munoz that entire drive. More yards rushing on that drive than they had the whole first half.
On the 20 on first down, Shawn Williams at left tackle out to the 23-yard line. And time now to go back to New York for a Pontiac High Performance update.
Well, we're going to go high with a catch here, Vern. Braylon Edwards is going to be on the receiving end from this 26-yard strike from John Navarre. He goes up, up, up. 21-3 Michigan.
All right, thank you, Tim. And it's 10-6 here, 2nd down and 7. Brody Croyle, right side. Shawn Williams gets the catch, no gain. May have lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and long.
That was really a nice play by Jabril Wilson, because Sean Williams has got a little shake to him, and he can make somebody miss out in space. And Jabril Wilson was not going to have any of it. I mean, he was out there in a good defensive position, and as soon as Shaw made the catch, he was there for the tackle. Shaw's going to fake out most guys in that situation. He didn't fake out Wilson.
3rd and 8, Alabama trailing by 4. First time they've trailed in this ball game. They were up 3-0, tied 3-3, led at the half 6-3. High snap, Coyle controls it. Goes deep across the middle, intercepted. Picked off by Tennessee. Corey Campbell, number 26. Coyle tried to find his old high school teammate, Brandon Greer. It was too high.
Last week against Ole Miss, he was picked off throwing the same route when Zach Fletcher fell down, or Triando Sloop. This time, Brandon Greer looked like he stopped on the route. And Brody threw it to a spot, and a volunteer was in the spot, not his guy.
Interception, Tennessee ball. We'll be right back. Bryant-Denny Stadium, Tuscaloosa. These beautiful overhead pictures of the University of Alabama, brought to you courtesy of the 1-800 Medicare Lightship. Good to have you with us. 10-6 Tennessee. In the first half, 46 yards on the ground. They opened the third quarter with a 6-play drive, all 59 on the ground. And play action, Clausen going deep right side, man coverage. The ball is tipped incomplete. Tipped by Charlie Peprah.
I love the idea by Randy Sanders, especially coming off the sideline. Play action and throw deep. The only thing I don't like is going after Peprah. I would have gone after the other cornerback. I think Peprah's the best cover guy on the Alabama team, and he was right there to make the play. They probably, I think, had a little more success going after David Scott on the other side instead of Charlie Peprah. But I love the idea. You know, you come out of the timeout, you've got Alabama on their heels, defense back on the field, go right for the touchdown.
2nd down and 10, blitz on the run, up the middle. It's Jabari Davis, number 34, into the hands of Charles Jones. Well, there's a young man back in Knoxville who was watching this game, who was very much in the minds of all of the Tennessee football team and staff. Chuck Prue, the backup center, became seriously, almost, well, he was critically ill back in September. As far as we know, it was a case of mononucleosis that evolved into a serious case of pneumonia. Chuck Prue still hospitalized, but circumstances better for him, and our thoughts go back to him as well. Scott Wells is the starting center. Chuck Prue became ill back at the latter part of September, hospitalized on September 26th.
You know what? Lacey Clausen didn't see the play clock, but James Banks, who was the backup quarterback and was lined up at a wide receiver, did, and he made the call for the timeout. A smart play by James Banks.
Back in Alabama with Tennessee on top 10-6. We were talking about the Chuck Prue story, and I talked to his best friend Scott Wells before the game. He went to visit him in the rehab hospital as late as Thursday. He said the good news is his dry sense of humor is back. He was up and walking around last week, and they hope to get him out of the hospital this weekend to get him back home. But the team wishes him well. They say, man, we love you. Keep fighting and get back to us.
Matter of fact, in a game earlier this year, Chuck Wells, or rather Scott Wells, number 64, wore number 67 in honor of his best friend. 3rd and 6. Basic big play out of the backfield and well developed for Tennessee. First down plus. That is C.J. Phaeton with his 2nd catch of the game.
Yeah, this is the infamous, a defense calls it a pick play, and offense calls it a rub play. They're going to run these guys in here to screen off and then slip this guy out in the flat. Every team has some version of it. You screen off the defender, you slip the guy out in the flat, and you get him the football. Well-conceived play and a good conversion for Tennessee.
That is a gain of 15 for C.J. Phaeton. Backs in the eye on 1st down and 10 at the 23-yard line. Jabari Davis, a couple.
Remember now, Tennessee trying to capitalize on the turnover, and they are the only team in the SEC coming into today's play that has not scored any points off of a turnover. Now, they haven't forced very many to begin with. I mean, coming into today, only 7. And they got one here, and they're trying to capitalize on it. And that was the problem for Alabama in the first half as well. I mean, 3 turnovers, but only 3 points, the result of it.
2nd down and 8. Clausen, Jabari Davis goes right. Good defensive
play. Roman Harper with a great play. Your strong safety is responsible for being a good run support guy. And watch 41 slip under the block of Herrera and then take the legs out of the big back, Jabari Davis. D'Amico Ryans was there to finish him up, but that was an outstanding play by the strong safety Harper.
And another 3rd and long in this drive for the Volunteers. Four wideouts and Clausen from the spread formation. Right side, drilled it, dropped. James Banks. 4th down.
A very important stop for the Alabama defense. I mean, this is a defense, again, that doesn't have a lot of depth. They don't play a lot of people. And they've gotten tired in the end of football games this year. That was a big stop to hold Tennessee to a field goal attempt here.
James Wilhite started the season 1 of 4, has hit 5 of his last 6. The first one in this game from short range, 31 yards. This one from 38, and it appears perfect. It is. 10 unanswered on back-to-back drives to open the 3rd quarter. Volunteers lead by 7. Tennessee leads at 13-6 with 8:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Rashad Baker injured in the first half, on crutches as he comes back on the field. And Wesley Britt, if you did join us late, the fine left tackle for Alabama, taken to the hospital, compound fracture of his leg. He's undergoing surgery tomorrow. Hudson drifts over and lets the kick. Oh, it's out of bounds. Wow.
Well, we've already seen what that does with Tennessee. The penalty by Alabama at the end of the first half forced them to kick off from the 20. And Tennessee started with great field position. That mistake by Tennessee is going to give Alabama good field position to start this important drive. Don't help them any more than let them earn it. You know, don't give them gifts. And that's a gift right there of about 15 yards.
First down at the 35. Brody Croyle playing in such obvious pain with such tenacity in the first half. A couple of blows on that separated left shoulder. He'll hand this one off. Sean Williams dances left. It's Ray Hudson. It's 27 instead of 21, and Hudson out to the 45-yard line.
Well, they're doing a nice job of going back and forth between Williams and Hudson. This didn't look like it was going to be much, but a broken arm tackle by the middle linebacker Robert Peace, and that enabled Hudson to break it outside and pick up about 8 yards. So a nice run by Hudson.
Gain of 9 for Ray Hudson, his 5th carry, 41 yards in all. 2nd and 1. Hudson remains in the backfield. Ron McClain. Hudson.
He might have lost a yard there. Yep. Nice penetration by the Tennessee defense.
Tomorrow on the NFL Today, join Jim and the gang as Marcus reports on the return of Chad Pennington and the suddenly surging Jets. Then there's Leslie on the success of Bill Belichick's Smoke and Mirrors Patriots, and see who shows up at Dion's Halloween party. For more, go to NFL.com or NFL on AOL. Nice to earn first name status, don't you think? You know?
Yeah.
You suppose in the office?
Well, there aren't a whole lot of Verns.
Well,
are there?
No.
in our business anyway.
And the guy,
if somebody says Vern, they're going to know who.
Well, the guy who was the most famous died a few years ago.
That's
did
right.
all those commercials.
What do you mean, Vern?
He was my nemesis. Here's Croyle being chased.
Get out of bounds.
Yes, indeed.
That was excellent protection, excellent coverage, and a good decision by Brodie Croyle.
And that leads us back to New York for this Pontiac High Performance Update.
Hey, Vern, I got an update for you. Georgia mailed it in today against UAB. Blazers quarterback Chris Williams is sacked by Derek White to preserve the win. Next week, no hangovers allowed, though, when the Dogs hunker down with the world's largest outdoor cocktail party in Jacksonville. Back to you, Vern.
Thank you, Timbo. Know what I mean? 1st and 10, 13-6.
You think Tim drives a Pontiac?
I think he will.
Yeah, I think he might.
1st and 10. Here's Sean Williams back on the. Oh, goodness. We do spend a lot of time together. Next week, Georgia versus Florida. Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. The Home Depot SEC on CBS. It'll be fun to be at that one, and it'll be preceded by Tim and Spencer.
Well, and Florida has pretty much owned Georgia in that series. And that's why Tennessee, you know, that they're still in the hunt for the SEC East. If they win today, and if Florida would happen to beat Georgia next week, Tennessee's right back in the thick of it here in the SEC East.
2nd down and 9, 13-6. Here's Croyle with a play fake. Tyrone Prothro looks for blocking help. Gets it, breaks a tackle on his own, and fights inside the 45.
Nice effort. That looked like it was going to blow up. And Prothro did a nice job of waiting for Evan Mathis to get out there, number 51, and help him out. And then just kind of make a few guys miss and get some positive yards. The problem for Alabama's passing game today is they haven't gotten any big chunks of yardage. Brodie Croyle is only averaging less than 5 yards per completion. They haven't gotten anything down the field for a decent chunk of yardage.
3rd and 3. Here's Croyle with time. Got a man. It's Fulgham. Dre Fulgham at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, Alabama. Jason Allen with the tackle, but a gain of 11 and another 1st down.
Yeah, key 3rd down conversion that time. Not only do you move closer to scoring territory, but you allow your defense that doesn't have a lot of depth to continue to rest on the sideline. Starts with good protection. Remember, Atlas Harrion, the left tackle, in there in place of Wesley Britt. They give a nice pocket for Croyle, and he's able to find Fulgham with the completion.
1st down from the 35-yard line. Play fake, Croyle looking deep, launches it deep, goes for Triandos Luke, touchdown.
There it is. They haven't had a downfield pass all game, and they got one when they needed it.
Did they ever?
This is designed to take it for a big play. Play action. He beat Jason Allen, the corner, and a perfect lead throw over both defenders by Brodie Croyle.
Bostic for the extra point. Perfectly thrown pass. And Jardina has some problems with the hold again. But he gets it down. Luke from Croyle. Alabama regains the lead. Welcome back, in time now for our Fidelity Investments scoring summary. The recap. Alabama got the first field goal. Bostic from 33. Wilhite tied it up for Tennessee. And then just before the half, Bostic equaled his season-long of 48. But to open the 3rd quarter, Banks on a 25-yard run, followed by Wilhite's field goal, put Tennessee up 13-6. And a moment ago, it was Brodie Croyle finding Triandos Luke 36 yards to make it 13-12. The extra point good, and we are tied at 13 all. That fellow lives in a house with no mirrors. That is not a good look.
And remember, Tennessee scored to start the 3rd quarter. The result of the penalty and the short kickoff and the good field position. Alabama started this drive after Tennessee kicked it out of bounds. They started with good field position. They scored to tie the game.
Kyle Robinson will kick off for the Crimson Tide. 13-13, 4:41 remaining. Larkins at the goal line. Nice run out to the 25, and we revisit the touchdown.
Well, I want to show you, this is not bad coverage. Here's Triandos Luke, and he's going to go post. Now, there's a safety right here who can help the corner on this play. The safety is in position to help on the post, but the ball is perfectly thrown by Brody Croyle. Deep past both defenders to the back corner of the end zone. If he throws that anywhere else, it's either intercepted or deflected. It was a perfect throw by Brody Croyle to beat two defenders.
51 plays to 40 at this point in the ball game. 13 all, 1st and 10. Clausen, handoff. Cedric Houston, number 21. Well, the significance of this game for Tennessee, obvious here. Georgia 4-1 in the conference. Florida now 3-2. Tennessee 2-2 at the moment. In the event of a divisional tie with 3 or more teams tied, look at number 7 on that list.
Yeah, it's very unusual. A lot of conferences have, you know, who is the last team to go to a bowl game or the highest ranked team, but in the SEC right now, it's a vote of athletic directors of the teams not involved in the tie and the other teams in the other division.
Reverse left side. Mark Jones. And Jones flies down the left sideline, out of bounds with a huge gain out to the 48-yard line. That's a pickup of 20 yards.
Well, 2 reverses for Tennessee in the game, 1 for 28 yards, that one for 20. So you take advantage of a fast-flowing defense, which Alabama is, with misdirection or going with reverse.
First and 10. 88 yards on the ground in this half.
And they're going to the left in this half. 9 plays now they've run to the left in the second half after only 4 in the first half.
That's 10, and that would be where Herrera and Munoz reside.
That's right. Munoz is their best lineman. He's a captain. That's where they should run.
We have not seen his father here today, but Michael told us on the phone Wednesday that his dad was going to be in attendance, as he is in almost every game.
That's right. He's around somewhere. One of our guys saw him in the Alabama gift shop the other day or yesterday buying some paraphernalia.
He's paying for the swag.
Yeah, Alabama swag.
Yeah. Second down, toss, left side, good block, and an equally good tackle. My gracious. David Scott, number 23, and Roman Harper, number 41.
Well, 13-13 is just like 0-0. This game now is going to be a matter of who wants it the most, who is willing to fight and be more physical, because it is going to be a physical finish here the last 3 minutes of the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
3rd and 6. Harper, Scott on the last play. Clausen, the senior from California. 1 of 5 on 3rd and 7 or more.
Blitz look.
Here they come. Clausen reads it, goes right, incomplete. Tony Brown. Charlie Jones got there a little late.
See, Joe Kynes is making some good calls on the pressure because Tennessee's playing right into their hands on these 3rd down plays. Here's the pressure right here. Now the out route is the hot read, but even if he catches it, it's going to be short of the 1st down. So Tennessee is blitzing to force the hot throw, and then they're right there to make the play even if he catches the football. So good design and play calling by Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator of Alabama.
Dustin Colquitt is on to punt. Leading punter in the SEC. Hangs this one up. Shawn Williams at the 10. Can't shake the second man down. And let's go back once again to New York and Tim Brendo.
All right, Vern, let's take a look at our Verizon Wireless top performance of the day in a matchup against another Heisman candidate, B.J. Simmons. Brad Smith sets school records with 5 rushing touchdowns. He rushed for 291 yards, second most in school history. Most points ever in a conference game in school history. Most points Missouri has scored since 1969. Brad Smith, truly a Heisman-esque performance.
I'll tell you what Brad Smith did today. I mean, he definitely prevented B.J. Simmons from winning the Heisman Trophy at Texas Tech, and he got on the radar map. Maybe not this year, but next year. 291 yards rushing.
Out of the flat, Sean Williams, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Well, it is the most muddled Heisman race I can remember in several years.
Yeah, it's great. And guys are playing their way in, and they can play their way out. I mean, Eli Manning has a big game tonight against Arkansas. Carnell Williams, a huge game tonight against LSU. David Green, you know, they struggled and kind of muddled around, but he'll have a big game against Florida next week. Michael Turner's team lost today. He's dropped out of it now. So, I mean, it's been exciting. It really has.
First down. They try to sweep to the left. It's Sean Williams, and there's not much there. 2:10 remaining in the third quarter. 13-13. Another full house here at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Well, Sean Williams is trying to get his All-American guard out there, Justin Smiley, who is about the healthiest he's been since the beginning of the season. But good flow by the Tennessee defense. Robert Peace there to make the play. I think for the most part, the Tennessee defense has played extremely well today. They've had a couple lapses. The run at the end of the half that they gave up, and the deep ball where the safety kind of took a nap on that last touchdown. But for the most part, they've played extremely well.
Last season, Williams held in check. Today, had a big 48-yard run. Here's a big third down pass. That is Brody Croyle to Dre Fulgham.
We mentioned that Fulgham is a strong guy, 217 pounds. He bench presses over 450 pounds, and he uses that big body on those in routes to shield the defender away. And Brody Croyle very confident going to him with the football on some key third down plays in this half.
19 catches for the season coming in, so he's now at 22, and 3 big ones in this ball game. Final 1:09, third quarter. And off Croyle. It goes to Sean Williams. Friday on CBS, whether it's a drug ring or a bank robbery, the FBI's undercover team will take on any identity to solve crimes from the inside. Emmy winner Joe Pantoliano is the handler. Don't miss an all-new episode Friday at 10, 9 Central on CBS.
You know, we heard so much this week about how the fans of these two schools don't like each other, don't get along. The players, I think, really respect one another. And they respect the rivalry. I think you can sense that in talking to the players.
Here's the handoff. Williams spins and picks up a couple of yards. He's going to be short of the first down. That'll bring up another big 3rd and 3. Corey Campbell makes the tackle, number 26.
Boy, he's a good football player. I really like watching Sean Williams play. I mean, he's a tough guy. He finds those extra yards, spinning, never stops moving his legs. Just went over 1,000 yards for the season. I think only the 10th Alabama player to do that.
Right. He's a special player, and he's an equally special person. That's the end of 3 with the score 13-all. We'll return right after this message and this word from your local station. That was the scene 2.5 hours ago as the left tackle Wesley Britt was taken from this field, urging his team and the crowd on. Taken to a local hospital where he'll undergo surgery for a broken leg tomorrow. 3rd and 3 as we begin the 4th. Vern Lundquist, Todd Blackledge, Jill Arrington, Alabama, and Tennessee.
Keep your eye on the fullback, Castile, slipping out of the backfield here.
They hand it off to Williams, who bumps into a man and then is knocked down as he gets to the 35-yard line. Looked like he might have a chance to pick up the first down but he's stopped by Kevin Burnett. We began the fourth. This has been everything we'd hoped for.
It really has been, and both teams are kind of feeling pretty good about themselves right now. That was an excellent stop on third down by the two linebackers, Kevin Burnett, Kevin Simon for Tennessee, forcing the punt. But it's going to be who is the most physical here in the fourth quarter. These last 14 minutes and 30 seconds, which team wants it most physically?
The punt from Bo Freeland. James Banks is back. And Banks nailed as he gets to the 28-yard line. 46-yard punt, 9 on the return. Just underway, fourth quarter. Mike Shula played in this game as the Alabama quarterback. So did Philip Fulmer for Tennessee. Tied at 13 at Bryant-Denny Stadium on the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Volunteers have the ball, rushing yards by half. Look how much more efficient Tennessee has been. Now flags are thrown before the ball is snapped.
And part of that is a commitment to running. In the second half, they're play calling 13 runs and only 4 passes.
False start against the offense. Movement in the offensive line prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Running the football behind Munoz and probably running there again. And he was the guy that jumped early.
He was ready.
He was ready.
On course to graduate this year with a degree in political science. He's only a junior athletically, and there's a stop on Cedric Houston.
See, this is going to be a fist fight these last 14 minutes. That's all it's going to come down to, because both of these coaches want to win the game by wearing down the opponent. They might get a big play in there, but that's going to start by trying to run the football and also running the clock. And that time, Alabama up for the challenge.
Second down and 15. William Revel is in at fullback. Here's Clausen. Pumps and fires. Diving try. It's incomplete. Intended for Jason Swain, and we go back to New York for another Pontiac high performance update. Here's Tim.
Vernon Todd, we told you Northern Illinois is prone to comebacks. Josh Haldy, a 10-yard pass to Chatone Powers at Bowling Green. This would be one mighty comeback for the fly in the ointment. Down 27-10, plenty of time in the third.
That fly in Bowling Green today, huh?
Hard to shake that ointment off your wings, though.
Yeah. That fly was here earlier this season. Right. And he buzzed by Alabama. Northern Illinois with an upset here, we thought at the time. Screen pass, left side. Oh, my!
What a play by D'Amico Ryans. Read it all the way. Kind of a conservative call by Tennessee, but you don't want to make a mistake. And D'Amico Ryans, who has just had an outstanding season, leading the SEC in tackles, coming into today. Here he is, the middle linebacker. See, he read it right away. He was watching the quarterback, he read screen, and he went right to the spot for the play. See, a quarterback has to sell a screen as well. He can't give it away. He gave it away that time, and D'Amico Ryans made the play. 4 of 11 for Tennessee now on third down.
And Colquitt is on to punt.
Oh, baby. What a kick.
Yes, it was.
Right
Sean
to the
Williams.
sideline. Can't even catch it. Wow.
Out of bounds at the 26-yard line. 53-yard punt.
Alabama.
Nothing on the return. D'Amico Ryans. Fine tackle. Alabama's got the ball. 12:39 to go in this one. 13-all. John Croyle, his son Brody, the quarterback. John was a defensive end, 71-73 for Coach Bear Bryant. And he is the founder and organizer of Big Oak Ranch. It is a school for troubled young boys and girls in Rainbow City, Alabama. It is a ranch with a mission, and they have done marvelous work there over the years. And his son, playing with a separated left shoulder, has the Alabama Crimson Tide at the line, 1st and 10. Give it off and a handoff. Hudson out to the 27. Well, every year There is a golf tournament held at Big Oak Ranch. This one was this week.
And we give children a chance. And the greatest thing you can give somebody is a chance.
Now that's Brody's father. John Kroll's golf tournament was benefiting the Big Oak Ranch was held on Thursday. Many of the game's greats were there. Bart Starr with a nice swing and Mr. Kenny Stabler. But you know, the shot of the day came from former quarterback Andrew Zhao. Look at that putt. Don Shula's foursome won the tournament, and the event raised $150,000 to a great cause.
All right, thank you, Jill. This one's sky high. Time is perfect. Wow, are you kidding?
I mean, when it left his hand, I thought he was throwing it away. But I really think he did that on purpose. I mean, that was an eephus ball. Wasn't that an eephus pitch? The guy who used to throw that thing? I mean, it looked like he was going to throw it away. It's a swing pass that was pretty well defended by Tennessee. You see, Burnett peeled off, and Brody just had to loop it out there. What a nice throw by Brody Croyle.
And Hudson makes the catch. That's a first down at the 40-yard line. Eephus ball. I'm proud of you for remembering that. That's good. Eephus. First down and 10. 7 of 8 in this half for Brody Croyle. Back to throw again. Fires it out. Caught by Castillo. Across the 50 to the 48-yard line.
Who wants it more right now? I mean, I've said that, and that is what this game is going to come down to right now. I don't think either team, either coach is going to take a lot of chances. They're going to just try to win it the old-fashioned way. Ball control passing, running the football, running the clock, and try to win the thing at the end. Make the other guy say uncle.
11:32 remaining in the ball game. That was a game of 13. First down. Here comes Williams. Out of bounds near the 30.
And a face mask at the end. You're right. What a play. Jason Allen guilty of grabbing the face mask. But Shawn Williams, when they need a play, boy, does he deliver. Run it to the left. Nice block by Atlas Harrion. And then Shawn Williams gets to the corner.
And there is the face mask.
The reason this play is so successful is because Constantine Richmond, the defensive end, is such a pass rush guy. He loves to get up the field and rush the passer, and that enables him to run inside. Watch Richmond get up the field, and that opens up a crease right there for Shawn Williams. All Atlas Harrion had to do was allow Constantine Richmond to go where he wanted, and that was up the field, and they slipped the draw in right behind him. And there's the face mask at the end of the play, and it's the severe kind because he used it to make the tackle.
And that gives Alabama a first down just at the 15-yard line. Backs are in the eye. It's Williams and Castillo. Oh my goodness. Looked like they almost missed a handoff.
They almost did. And you know, they missed one earlier down by the goal line and had to settle for a field goal. And this time they almost ran directly into each other. Watch Brody Croyle. Able to make the exchange, and then Shawn Williams, he just makes so many guys miss. Kevin Simon had a clear shot at him, and for Tennessee, their 10th missed tackle of the second half, and that has been a problem for them all season.
That's a gain of 6, second down and 4 with 10:45 to go. And it off again, keep it on the ground, little skip to the 5-yard line. Shawn Williams. You know, think about what this young man has been through. Started out from Andrews, Texas, at Texas Tech. He was recruited at one point by Dennis Franchione, who was then at TCU. Coaching change at Texas Tech, emphasis on the passing game. He came here to play for Dennis Franchione. Of course, Franchione left for A&M. Mike Price comes in. Price gets fired. Shawn Williams cried when he asked the powers that be here to give Mike Price a second chance. They chose not to. 5 coaches he's played for in his career. And one more point, Larry White, who's been the sports information director here, and this is a first down. Larry White told me our last visit, he's been here for years. Shawn Williams is the best person he's ever been around has played football at this school. Quite a testament.
You're not kidding. That's quite a testament. And he has just been so much fun for us to watch because he plays the game the way it was meant to be played. And he's a great team player. Whatever the team needs, he's going to do.
At the 5, 1st and goal. It's Williams again. Breaks one tackle, and then there are 3 white jerseys that surround him. Mondre Dickerson, who had the initial contact, couldn't hang on.
Watch Shawn Williams now. He's not very big, so he's not going to get a lot of extra yardage just by running through tackles. But he's not going to stop his feet as long as he's got a chance. 189 pounds. He makes extra yardage by making people miss. A little bit tougher for him to run through people.
2nd and goal. 13 all, 9:25 to go. Williams to the 1. Not in.
Tennessee has played some of their best football defending their own goal line today. A critical 3rd down play coming up. Shawn Williams fighting for the goal line, and he's down before he got the ball across the plane. Good call by the officials. Now the one thing here on the 1-yard line, you don't expect Brodie Croyle to run a quarterback sneak because of his shoulder. You expect that the ball will be handed off in the backfield. So Tennessee maybe a little edge there knowing that.
Play fake. Croyle being chased, has to throw it away. Robert Peace chasing. 4th and goal.
Excellent goal line defense by Tennessee. They thought, you know, they got them all bunched in here. Now, I thought Shawn Williams snuck in here open for the touchdown. But I don't think Brodie saw it. So I think he was open, but Brodie was already having to scramble out. They wanted to throw it quick, and they couldn't do it.
Remember in the first half, 2nd quarter, 79-yard drive, blocked field goal.
Right.
Back of their minds, I'm sure, Mike Shula is going to roll the dice and go for it on 4th and 1.
Give it to your best player, 21.
Here's 21, and he did not get in. Paris Harrelson led the charge.
Nice push by the front 4 of Tennessee. I don't go against the call right here because Tennessee has not done a lot against you offensively, and you have them backed up on the 2-yard line. So even if you don't score here, you should get the ball back in good field position, and you can kick the field goal the next time. But Philip Fulmer loves what his defense has done on the goal line.
8:29 to go. Goal line stand by the Volunteers. 1st and goal at the 5. Mike Shula opted to throw it on 3rd and goal from the 1. Run it on 4th and goal. No points.
I know you think they should have taken the points. I think they should have gone for it. You don't score. Now it's up to your defense to keep Tennessee pinned back there. At home, go for it. Let your defense try to get a 3 and out here.
Yeah, from the 3, play action for Clausen. Goes deep left side. Good coverage. And David Scott was coming over to help Charlie Pepper with good man coverage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. I offer a mild second guess.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not going to jump up and down.
Well, a lot of people would say take the points. You know, you've lost 4 of your last 5 games. You've
right.
played well enough to win. Why not take the 3 points, take the lead, and kick off? I just think, you know, you got him pinned down that deep. Philip Fulmer is not going to be real exotic down here. They should get the ball back near the 50-yard line if they can get a 3 and out here.
67 plays to 48 at this point. 2nd and 10 from the 3. Handoff. Now a big 3rd down play coming up. And of course, I'll get on the other side of the teeter-totter if they hold him here. Got 2 nicknames, Wishy and Washy. 3rd down, 3rd and 8.
Now on the one hand, you see what Mike Shula is saying, one more play. We just need one more play here, and we'll have the game where we want it, with a chance to win it in the last 7 minutes. Now you would think Tennessee probably wouldn't throw here, but with a senior veteran quarterback who's 11-1 in opponent stadiums, you might let him have a chance to throw for the 1st down here on 3rd and 8.
He will go from the spread, 3rd and 8 in a tie game. Alabama rushes 4. Clausen rolls out, and that's going to be incomplete at the 10-yard line. They did, as Mike Shula had hoped.
Yeah, and Jawan Garth made an excellent play. Young man that we had a chance to visit with yesterday, redshirt freshman out of Decatur, was right on the coverage there and knocked the ball loose. Here's Garth, number 42. Watch him pick up the crossing route. He's following the quarterback, and he strips the ball out with his right hand. Nice play by the linebacker.
Well, Tennessee's Dustin Colquitt has been an outstanding punter this year. They need a big effort from him now.
And the key is to get it off quick. Your distance is cut down. Get the kick off.
Williams.
What a kick.
Isn't that something? He was close to stepping out of bounds, but did not, and then he is hammered as he gets to the 45-yard line. A 55-yard punt for Dustin Colquitt. 5 on the return.
Well, what a beautiful kick. Man.
Again. Time call. Crimson Tide with the ball when we come back. 19 to go in this one. And time now for the Wrangler 5-star play of the game, and for the call, Eli Gold of the Alabama Radio Network.
Alabama, play action. Croyle loads up, looks for Luke in the end zone. Touchdown!
Great throw. Great
what a throw. 36 yards. Brody Croyle. Triangles his fourth.
Eli Gold and Ken Stabler with the call, and here is Brody Croyle again. First down from the 45-yard line. Blitz. And they get Ray Hudson for a loss back to the 39. .708 to go. Now there's Ken Stabler on the left and Eli Gold on the right.
On a running down, that being the first down, kind of a weak side run blitz, gets that penetration, really gets Ray Hudson before he gets started.
So the play will lose nearly 6. We'll call it 5.
I think Eli knows he's getting a little OC. Well, they have become two really good friends, and our thanks to Ken Stabler. If you missed the open of our broadcast, what we call the tease, Ken Stabler lent so much to that, giving you a sense of what this game is all about. Here's Tyrone Prothro, number 4. And that'll leave a 3rd and 11. Doubleheader of the NFL on CBS tomorrow. Denver, Baltimore, Cleveland, New England, Tennessee, Jacksonville. The early games followed by the Jets at Philly or Houston at Indianapolis. And it all begins with the men with one name, Jim, Dan, Dion, and Boomer on the NFL today.
Alabama 6 for 16 on 3rd down. None bigger than this one right here. 3rd and 12 for Brody Croyle.
Here's Croyle back, steps up, he has to scramble, pulls up, and he's got a man wide open. Zach Fletcher. Fletcher breaks through, and there's Prothro with a block, and it's first a goal. How do you do?
For a moment, Brody Croyle tucked that football and looked like he was going to run. And when he did that, the defense froze. Now here's the receiver that's going to catch the pass down in here. But watch the defenders freeze when Croyle takes off. That cornerback came up to stop the run and left the receiver wide open because they were convinced Brody Croyle was set to run.
51-yard gain, and we are back at the 5-yard line with a 1st and goal. Handoff, Hudson to the 1.5, make it.
The guy who was in coverage on Fletcher is a freshman, Jason Allen, the sophomore. Now he leaves his man, and he is convinced that Brody Croyle is going to scramble, and that's why Fletcher was left open on the sidelines. Brody Croyle, I don't think he was trying to fake out the defense. It's just at the last minute he saw his guy wide open and made the throw down the field. What a play by a Warrior, Brody Croyle.
Spencer Pennington out to congratulate him. It's 2nd down. Hudson, touchdown, Crimson Tide.
back to the decision by Mike Shula to go for it on 4th down. You get a 3-and-out by your defense. You get good position, and you take it down and score the next time. I mean, they had the ball on their side of the field, which is what they wanted.
Ryan Bostic for the extra point. With 4 minutes and 47 seconds left in this one. Alabama breaks the tie. They go on top on Ray Hudson's 2-yard run. Alabama leads it 20-13. .447 to go in this one. We begin the afternoon saying it sometimes resembles a heavyweight fight. Circumstances a little different this year, but it does resemble a heavyweight fight. Alabama trying to right the ship. Blown out in their last 2 losses. They did win here 2 weeks ago against Southern Miss. And Tennessee, losers at Auburn, losers at home to Georgia, trailing here with the season on the line.
Well, let's go back to that last series of plays. It started with the big 3rd down and 12 conversion where Brody Croyle faked the run and then found Zach Fletcher for a 51-yard gain. That got him down inside the 5-yard line. And then watch the touchdown play here. Watch these guys block. The 2 guards in the center. Watch them guys stay right on their blocks and open it up for Hudson. Excellent work on the inside, and then John Croyle loves it.
1st and 10, Tennessee at their own 20. Draw play. There goes Houston. Knocked down after a 6-yard gain. D'Amico Ryans with another tackle. Let's check the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Ball control 34-31 and 72 plays to 51 thus far. Great complete college football stats at CBSSportsline.com.
Yeah, that plays is huge. I mean, Tennessee has struggled in the last several games. They just don't get very many opportunities to make plays.
Another handoff, and Houston nailed Freddie Roach, Derek Pope, 2 of the linebackers.
To start the 3rd quarter, Tennessee was asserting itself running the football. Alabama's defense has since risen to the challenge in the 4th quarter. And again, because they don't respect the deep threat ability of the Tennessee wide receivers, they can crunch in on the line of scrimmage and outnumber them in the running game. And this is where Casey Clausen really misses a tight end like Jason Witten. 3rd down and 5, someone to work the middle of the field.
Clausen goes left. Knocked down. David Scott. Tennessee has to punt.
Third down and 5. They go after the new guy, David Scott. A high throw, though. Casey's got to throw that in around those 2 numbers, the 1 and the 1, so that Banks can use his body to help make that catch. It was high and outside, and Scott able to knock it down.
On 4th and 4, Dustin Colquitt punts away to Sean Williams, who awaits it at the 25. Another dandy. My
and right to the sideline. I mean, he can't even do anything with it.
Well, Dustin Colquitt, his father Craig was a punter at Tennessee in the 70s, later with Pittsburgh. Cousin Jimmy, career average record. His mother Ann was a member of the dance squad in the 70s, so there's some athleticism in this family.
Got a younger brother, Britton, who is committed to play at Tennessee. He's going to be probably the next punter.
Well, he's 5th in the NCAA coming into this game. We've gone to hundreds of yards now, 46.09. Tom Malone of Southern Cal, the leader. But Dustin Colquitt having a wonderful season. Well play. Hudson. A lot of room. Flag.
Now this is going to come back. This is going to be a hold on Dre Fulgham. Mike Shula doesn't like the call, but it's going to come back, and that's a costly mistake by a senior wide receiver out trying to make a block, because that was a huge play for Ray Hudson and for the Alabama offense to get out of their own territory.
A 19-yard gain about to be erased.
We have holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, replay, first down.
The only good news for Alabama is it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Now watch, here it is right here. Dre Fulgham blocking on Jason Allen, and that left hand is on the arm. Again, the good thing is it goes from the spot of the foul, so Alabama's still out to the 35-yard line. First down.
And they've got a need of 2 now with 2:55 to go. Tennessee has 2 timeouts remaining, so they can stop the clock twice. On first down, Shawn Williams spins, driven down after a gain of 1. We talked a little bit about Dustin Colquitt and what he's done to improve himself. He goes through a visualization technique before the game.
I think one of the most interesting things to me about Dustin Colquitt, you hear this about defensive linemen or linebackers, but he's gained 42 pounds since he came in as a freshman, and so his leg strength has really improved during his career at Tennessee.
Well, timeout has been called by Tennessee, and in the meantime, Alabama does have the lead. Monday at an all-new Late Show, Dave got Kiefer Sutherland, Emmylou Harris, and the latest survivor, Castaway. And later this week, don't miss Keanu Reeves, Doris Roberts, sex expert Sue Johansson, and kids in Halloween costumes. I just read this. The Late Show's all new all this week on CBS. But you knew that. Second down. It's going to be third down. 2:31 to go. Time called. That is the last timeout for Tennessee.
Take a look at the fourth quarter. Alabama has just controlled things. Plays, time, and yards. Alabama 131 yards now in the fourth quarter. Tennessee only 6 yards in the fourth quarter. When we were here 2 years ago, when these two teams played, it was just the opposite. Alabama only ran 6 plays in the fourth quarter, and Tennessee wore them out. Alabama dominating the fourth quarter today.
Well, a huge third down coming up now. Third and officially 2. 2:31 to go. Tennessee is out of timeouts, and they trail by 7.
And a lot of timeout for Casey Clausen and Philip Fulmer. 2:31, even though they don't have the timeouts. That's still a lot of time for a veteran quarterback.
Last time Tennessee lost 3 straight was 1992. Arkansas, Alabama, South Carolina. No team has won 3 in a row against Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now Tennessee won here in 2001. They won here in '99. They're trying to make it 3 in a row here. Third down.
What do you do here, Coach? 3rd and 2. Do you throw it? Do you run it?
I think I run it.
If Brody Croyle was healthy, I would say maybe you try a bootleg and let him have a run-throw option and let him use his athletic ability to maybe get you the first down. But with him being banged up, I think maybe you give it to 21 and see if he can wiggle for 2.5 yards.
3rd and 2. Number 21 gets it. Wiggles for 2.25 yards. I think he got enough to sustain the drive. They will measure, I'm sure. Now what we got? What kind of spot we got?
Shawn Williams does a nice job of just twisting his body and turning into creases and fighting for extra yardage.
Oh, boy. Oh, ho, ho.
Oh, my. And the Alabama offense walking off the field as if they know they're going to punt the football. It says 4th and 1 on the scoreboard, but that's not 1 yard. I mean, that is a half a yard, if that.
Couple of inches. How about this gamble?
You have to quarterback sneak it. I mean, you can't take the chance of doing anything else, even though your quarterback has a bum left shoulder. They need to call a timeout. They're confused. Brody's going to let the clock go down as far as he can and then call timeout.
Alabama uses one of its 3, 2:03 to go, 4th and inches. Well, first game in this series played in '01. That's 1901. In 1930, Alabama won 18-6. In 1966, Alabama won 11-10. Kenny Stabler, the quarterback then. In '72, Alabama wins it 17-10, 2 DTs in the final 36 seconds. In '82, Tennessee won, and in '99, Tennessee won again, 21-7. That was the first time that Tennessee had won in Tuscaloosa in 69 years. It was then the 5th straight win over the Tide. And Alabama is trying to make it 2 in a row with their Volunteers.
Trying to start a new streak. It's been such a streaky series through history. And Alabama trying to start a new one. 4th down and less than 1. If you run a play here, it's got to be a quarterback sneak. I mean, you need a half a yard.
Chad Williams will be the tailback, and LeRon McClain the fullback. Brody Croyle injured left shoulder.
The only other thing you might see is they may try to just use a hard count and get the 5-yard penalty.
Here we go.
They're going to do neither. They're going to run their punt team on and try to get the ball kicked. One guy late coming on.
Yes, he is. And that allows, oh no, too many men on the field. Snap the ball if you're Alabama. They didn't snap it in time. They could have had 12 men on the field for Tennessee.
But they still forced a fair catch because they were late getting their return guys on. Tennessee did not have time to set up a return or get their punt return team on the field. So an excellent decision by Mike Shula's staff to run a punt team on late and force Tennessee to fair catch the football.
Now Mark Anderson, number 47, was the last man on for Alabama. And he cost him a couple of seconds while he got set. But here comes Tennessee out of timeouts, 1:52 to go in the ball game. Ball in their own 14, trailing by 7. On 1st and 10 from the 14, Clausen. Looking left, now goes across the middle, caught. At the 28-yard line, the catch is made by James Banks.
Well, that's the best receiver for Tennessee, and that's the best route that Casey Clausen throws, is the deep end. I mentioned that earlier, the slant and the in. That's the first in cut that he's hit today. No timeouts, but the clock does stop when they make a first down in order to reset the chain.
On 1st down, Clausen back, 3-man rush. They drop 8 across the middle, caught. That's going to be a 5-yard pickup out near the 35-yard line. Troy Fleming with the catch.
See, I think what we'll see from Alabama, we won't see a prevent defense, but we will not see much blitzing, if any. They're going to make Tennessee execute because a field goal does Tennessee no good. They have to score a touchdown. So Alabama wants to make them just chip away all the way down the field.
Here is a blitz. D'Amico Ryans. They go left. Now the receiver down the sidelines. No, he was out of bounds back at the 46.5-yard line. Well, let's take another look at that fake punt. Not a fake punt, but the decision to punt.
Yeah, they sprint off the field and they sprint the punt team on. Now Tennessee, they can't make all those substitutions, so they have to keep their defense on the field, and that means they can't have a punt return. They just have to catch the ball, make a fair catch. So an excellent decision by the Alabama sideline.
1:04 to go, 1st down and 10. Clock stopped because the receiver did step out of bounds. Clausen deep left side. Got a man. at the 30.
Wow.
Troy Fleming.
Yeah, they fooled the Alabama defense. Fleming came out of the backfield, and nobody picked him up. It was a zone defense, but Fleming, who usually stays in the block, that was a design play to get him out enough. That's called a wheel route, and Fleming makes the nice catch.
First down at the 30 with 58 seconds to go. And Clausen again will go from the spread formation. Four-man Alabama rush. Clausen deep left side, got a man, and it's incomplete. A flag is down.
Yeah, I think they might have gotten Alabama for being offsides, so Casey had a free play there, I think.
We have offside against the defense. The player was in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Well, 3 weeks ago, Tennessee made a comeback down 28-7 through 3, but Clausen came back with touchdown passes to Mark Jones, Chris Hannon. But on the drive to tie the game, he threw his only interception of the ball game. The Tigers held on to win it 28-21. First down and 5. Fake. Clausen pulls up, lets it go in the end zone. Tip incomplete. David Scott defending. Banks had both hands on it.
Yeah. If he'd have caught it the first time, it's a touchdown. He tried to catch it the second time, and David Scott was there to get a hand in there. But this was a nice job of Casey Clausen buying some extra time. And Banks moves with his quarterback, who scrambled into an open area. And he had it. He just wasn't able to squeeze the football. The ball was well thrown right through the fingers.
Second and 5. Here comes the blitz. Clausen with a lot of time. Lets it go deep left side. That's incomplete. 3rd and 5.
It was a blitz, but it wasn't an all-out blitz with man-to-man coverage. There was a little bit of zone coverage over the top by Roman Harper, and that's why Casey Clausen didn't have an easy throw. Tennessee picked up the blitz, but Casey Clausen didn't have an open receiver to go to.
3rd and 5. Mark Jones, bottom of the screen. 3 wide receiver set. Clausen under center. Flips it out left side. At the 20, at the 10, at the 5, down at the 1. The clock will stop on the first down.
Nobody wanted to tackle him. I mean, Mark Jones, it looked like he was going to go down short of the first down. A nice call versus the blitz. Charlie Pepper missed a tackle. Charles Jones missed a tackle, and Mark Jones just kept stumbling to the goal line.
Now the ball marked ready for play, and the clock starts as well. Nope.
Alabama
timeout.
called timeout.
Alabama.
Well, that helps Tennessee because they don't have any timeouts. If they want to stop the clock, they're either going to have to throw an incomplete pass or spike the football. Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator, wanted to make sure he had the personnel he wanted on the field with the ball on his own 1-yard line. First and goal on the 1. Now here's the problem for Tennessee with 29 seconds. If you try to run the football and you don't make it, you may not even have a chance to get up and spike the football to stop the clock.
Well, the play they tried in this position at the end of the half against Georgia was called 6 Otis. It was an attempted handoff to Jabari Davis, but Troy Fleming got in the way. Fumble, return for a touchdown, Georgia. First and goal, and this time they play fake it, lob it for touchdown, Troy Fleming.
Nice call. They line up with their big backfield. Jabari Davis, they play fake. Cool customer at quarterback, Casey Clausen, and he had 2 guys open. Had his choice for the touchdown.
Well, Fulmer has said, let's go for 1, go for the tie, go for overtime.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think you play for the overtime. you've lost 2 in a row, you got a better chance of winning in overtime than making a 2-point conversion, I think.
Wilhite for the extra point. It is knocked home cleanly. And Tennessee goes 76 yards with no timeouts. Big passes to Fleming, a big run on a pass to Mark Jones, and they get the touchdown. We're notched at 20.
Well, they really caught Alabama in a blitz on that pass to Mark Jones on the screen pass, and he took it all the way down to the 1-yard line. And then watch the play fake here. All right, they're going to fake it in here and slip the fullback right out here. Easy touchdown. Alabama thinking run all the way. He had 2 guys open. I mean, he could have chosen either the tight end or the fullback, and he went for the sure thing with Fleming.
Fleming gets the touchdown. Wilhite the extra point. Casey Clausen leads them to 20 all. 1-yard touchdown toss. Casey Clausen to Troy Fleming. Extra point good. 20-20. Clausen 6 of 8 on that drive, which went 76 yards. No timeouts. Here's Tyrone Prothro, number 4. He's got some room.
The kicker to beat. What a play by the kicker. Just slowing him down.
A flag is down. There are 2 of them. Wilhite saved the touchdown. It might be coming back anyway.
How many times today have we seen bad kickoffs result in big plays for the opposition? This was a short kickoff by Wilhite, and then to add insult to injury, he gets called for a face mask at the end of the play.
38-yard return. Rogers Redding, the referee.
Personal foul.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
I mean, again, first of all, it's a short kick. And maybe they did it on purpose, but they gave him the ball there, and Prothro just takes off. And once he gets to the outside, all he has to do is beat the kicker. And there's the 15-yard penalty, but hey, I don't fault the kicker. If he doesn't do that, Prothro might score a touchdown, and they lose anyway.
17 seconds to go. Alabama has 1 timeout remaining. They've got the ball at the 32. Shawn Williams. 12 seconds. 10. Use the timeout here? Yes. Now, Brian Bostic's career long is 48. He hit one from 48 earlier this evening. He's had 1 block tonight. And he's coming on the field now with 9 seconds to go.
And remember when we were here for the Arkansas game, Bostic missed a field goal in overtime that would have won it after they got the turnover from Arkansas. That forced a second overtime period, and Arkansas ultimately won the game with their own field goal. Another chance.
Nick Ridings will snap it. Gabe Jardina will hold it. He's bobbled 1 today. Bostic for the lead from 45 yards away.
And remember where Jason Allen was on that block. He's number 18, and he was in the middle of the field. I'm looking for him now, and I don't see him. I think he just came on the field just now. The last guy to come on the field, number 18. Oh, boy.
Yes, indeed.
I hear you, Philip. Man.
Brian Bostic, a junior from Coleman, Alabama. His teammate from Coleman, Alabama, Wesley Britt, in the hospital with a broken leg, urging the team on earlier today. And here is Bostic for an Alabama win.
Now, high snap. It didn't get down clean, and it got tipped again.
4 seconds to go. And Mondre Dickerson appears to have been the man who got a hand on it.
See, the snap was high from Nick Ridings, and that threw off the timing. Gardenia had to reach a little bit high, had to bring it into his body, and then it was partially blocked. Good push inside, and I think it was Mondre Dickerson on the inside. It was one of those defensive linemen, not one of the jumpers.
Watch number 90.
Yep.
And on the Tennessee sideline.
Oh, man. Well, they scored on a Hail Mary against Florida. Not even going to try it here.
Nope.
Let's go to overtime.
Well, this one has had some drama.
Oh, man. I got to sit down for a minute. Golly.
Philip Fulmer gathers his troops. Mike Shula will gather his. This was the scene as the kick was missed. We'll be right back. 20-20 as we begin overtime. And the overtime rules, in case you are not familiar, the winner of the coin toss gets to go on offense or defense. Offense starts at the 25. Extra period will consist of 2 series. Each team gets 1 offensive set. Each team retains the ball until it scores or fails to make a first down. And with the 3rd overtime period, you must go for 2. Here's Rogers Redding.
The options you'll have would be on offense, defense, or you can choose the end of the field.
Now Rogers not going to let us eavesdrop, but he's explaining the rules to Tennessee and Alabama.
We will not toss the coin again. We will just keep track and go back and forth. You each have one
20 to 20. You get back. Doesn't matter how many. Look back at that first half that seemed hours ago, but Alabama forced 3 turnovers in that first half, but only scored 3 points off of those turnovers. You know, and 2 times they were inside Tennessee's 3-yard line. An outstanding goal line defense by the Volunteers kept them out of there.
Well, it appears that Alabama won the toss.
Overtime games this year for both teams. Tennessee beat South Carolina earlier this year in overtime on a touchdown throw from Casey Clausen to James Banks. Arkansas lost or beat Alabama here. This was South Carolina earlier in the year.
2 teams went into overtime. Daniel Weaver made a 24-yard field goal, but on the Tennessee possession, Clausen to Banks for the touchdown and the win over South Carolina 23-20. And we were here for an Arkansas visit in which they came from 21 down. It appeared all over, but after Sean Williams' 80-yard touchdown run, the Razorbacks came back to tie the game at 31 on a Matt Jones TD pass to Richard Smith. It then took 2 overtimes until Chris Balsero nailed the 19-yard field goal, and Arkansas won it 34-31 over Alabama.
Yeah, it was on the same day, September 27th. Both those games took place.
Alabama won the toss. They elect to go on defense. That means Casey Clausen and the Volunteers of Tennessee get the first offensive series in overtime in Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Handed off, bounce to the outside, and this is Cedric Houston with a nice run. He picks up 8 yards rather. David Scott with the tackle, and Houston appears injured.
We've seen a couple tackles by the Alabama defensive backs on these hard running backs of Tennessee, going right for the legs. It's a smart play. Don't mess around with these guys up around their chest area where they're bigger and stronger than you. Go and take their legs out, and that's what David Scott did.
And paying attention to the left ankle for Cedric Houston.
One definite change that Tennessee made in the locker room at halftime, as you take a look at the rushing yards, is 13 rushes in the second half. They've run to the left side behind Mike Munoz. Only 4 to the other side. So when they've run the football here in the second half, they've run it to the left behind their captain, Michael Munoz.
Cedric Houston being assisted to the Tennessee sideline. Munoz, big number 77. Jabari Davis has taken his spot. Derek Tinsley is also in the lineup on 2nd and 3 from the 18-yard line. Jones and Tinsley are wide to the right. James Banks is split left. Backs in the eye. Handoff. up the middle. Nice run to the 8-yard line by Jabari Davis.
What Jabari Davis may lack in his ability to make you miss, he's going to make you pay for trying to tackle him. He's a big physical back, 225 pounds, and runs right over Charles Jones, the free safety.
First and goal at the 8-yard line. I formation again, a 3 wide receiver set. And they hand it off to Davis. He fights for yardage to the 5. That's a gain of 3.
This is where it's a little bit tough, though. I mean, they got the good first down run, but first and goal on the 8 can be a little bit tough. The field really shrinks. This is the first down play. Jabari Davis lowering that shoulder. This time, Charles Jones was a little more up for it. Had a little better leverage on the play and didn't get run over. Got a little help from Derek Pope as well. A lot of room out here.
Second and goal. That's Derek Tinsley heading that direction. Hand off on the sweep. Jabari Davis caught and dropped. Lost the yard. D'Amico Ryans. And that is the 10th D'Amico Ryans tackle today. It's 100 for the season.
It might have been the most important, because I think Davis scores a touchdown if D'Amico Ryans doesn't make this play. Here's D'Amico. Watch him cut right through there, unblocked. And if he doesn't make that play, they have everybody else blocked to the corner.
Third and goal from the 6. Banks goes right. Jones and Tinsley near side. Here's Clausen to throw. Drills it. Caught. Touchdown, Tennessee. Derek Tinsley.
Nice play by Casey Clausen. Good protection. Gets it over the hands of the linebacker, Derek Pope, and then a sure catch by Tinsley in the end zone. I mean, Casey had to put some touch on that to get it over Pope, but not too high for his own guy.
Will Height with the extra point. Up and good. Tennessee with a touchdown. Derek Tinsley, a non-factor all year long. Had not caught a pass nor run the ball until today. On the reverse, he picked up 28 in the first half and now gets the touchdown in overtime.
Well, here's Tinsley right here, and he's just going to go in and then settle in an area right there, and Clausen's going to find him. It's a zone defense by Alabama. So he finds a little hole in there, and it goes right over Pope. Just a nice throw by Casey Clausen. What a game.
Casey Clausen, 20 of 36 for 224 and 2 touchdowns. He got the tying touchdown to Troy Fleming from a yard out. Hand off up the middle. Williams, 5 yards.
That first down play is so critical in these overtimes, you know, to get a positive gain. Cedric Houston got 8 for Tennessee on their first down play. Shawn Williams comes back with 5 on their first down play. You definitely don't want to go backwards on your first play in overtime.
Now the task pretty simple. Alabama must get a touchdown in the extra point, or Tennessee has won in overtime. I formation. Tyrone Prothro is the wideout. And here's the pass to Prothro to the 5, back to the 10, and dropped at the 8. Well, he lost about 3 yards trying to get back to the outside.
Flag down as well. Or was that a shoe? I think it was a shoe, not a flag. Yeah. And how about it now? Both teams first and goal on the 8. Prothro is just going to find a spot, sit down, and then go across the field. This guy's an exciting young receiver for Alabama. Tennessee had first and goal on the 8. Now Alabama first and goal on the 9.
Prothro wide to the right side. And here's Coyle trying the middle. Rashad Williams to the 5. Maybe he stopped at the 6-yard line.
Alabama has not had a lot of success inside the 10-yard line against Tennessee today.
No, sir. Remember, a 79-yard drive in the first half that came up empty on a blocked field goal. They had 6 runs inside the 10 on that drive. Penalty involved.
Well, in the fourth quarter, they went for it on 4th and goal on the 1 and got stopped. So tough area for them right now today.
Here's Croyle going into the end zone. That's incomplete. 3rd down. No flag. Jason Allen was the defender, number 18.
Well, we saw this earlier. I'm not sure this was a catchable pass for Zach Fletcher. And very little contact anyway. I mean, that wasn't enough to warrant a flag. A little bit too much mustard on that throw by Brody anyway.
3rd and goal from the 6.
I think you'll see some kind of a bunch type of thing where they'll try to spring somebody out free in the flat.
Luke goes in motion to the right side. Here's Croyle back to throw. Hits a Tennessee defender. That hit Paris Harrelson, who dropped back. 4th down.
I'm not sure who he was going for on this one. This play did not look right. And it looks like Alabama may call their timeout here. He hit Harrelson right in the head, going for Tim Castile out of the backfield, but Castile wasn't really open.
Harrelson was. Timeout, Alabama. So 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. A sellout crowd watching as Alabama and Tennessee meet for the 86th time. Lineup tonight, 48 Hours investigates Hack and the district. All of that begins as soon as this one ends. Mentioned at the beginning of the day that a victory by Tennessee today not only halts a 2-game losing streak, but gives them life, because they're at home against Duke, a non-conference game, at Miami, but then they will be favored against Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky in their final 3 SEC games.
Miami, the only team on their remaining schedule with a winning record.
In overtime, 4th and goal from the 6. Dre Fulgham is on. He will come to the near side. Triondos Luke split off 4 yards to the right. Williams and Castile in the backfield. On 4th down, blitz coming. Croyle got Fulgham. Got a touchdown.
What a pretty throw. They tried it on 2nd down, and Brody threw it too far to Fletcher. This time they put Fulgham out there, and he makes a perfect throw. Same guy in coverage, Jason Allen.
The arc was gorgeous.
Now, this is not a gimme now. They've had some high snaps, some bobbled snaps. They've got to knock this through.
Gardena will hold. Riding snaps it back. Boy, he just does hook it inside the left upright.
What a throw by Brody Croyle on the fade. You can't throw this too far. Out over the outside shoulder. Perfect throw and catch. Alabama ties it up.
Mike Shula, first-year head coach. Played in 3 of these games. Very calm, isn't he?
On the outside.
Yes.
Wherever his dad is in this stadium, I bet he's not very calm right now.
Dad's hiding. Don is here. And while we've got a all right, thank you, Tim. And let's take another look at this beautiful pass, Brody Croyle to Dre Fulgham.
Well, the matchup is here, but what Croyle sees is this safety inside here. So he knows he can't help at all on this play. So it's one-on-one coverage, and he knows he just has to throw that thing out over the outside shoulder. If it's thrown correctly, that pass is impossible to defend. I don't care how good of a coverage guy you are. If it's over the outside shoulder, impossible to defend. What'd you say about drama a little bit earlier? It's even more dramatic.
Well, since we're having dessert, let's have a second helping. 2 overtimes. You know, it just occurred to me that Arkansas is playing at Ole Miss. And the last time Arkansas played at Ole Miss, we were here in Tuscaloosa and watched that game together. 7 overtimes.
Kept wanting to leave and go home.
That's right.
Pack our bags. We all had early flights. The next day, nobody could leave.
Well, second overtime here. 27 all.
Except our producer. He was driving to Atlanta, so he didn't see any of it.
Craig Silver and Steve Milton down in the truck. Sellers Shy, our AD. Debbie Bullock on the sideline with Jill. Got a pretty good group up here in the booth, too. Matt Sine, Joe Castana, Chuck Gardner. All of us, this traveling circus will be at the largest cocktail party in captivity next week. Hard to top this one. 27 all. And we'll come to the right side now. And Brody Croyle has Alabama on offense. Shad Williams.
Fumble. He fumbled the ball. But Alabama alertly gets back on it.
Oh.
Boy, oh boy. I talk about that first play. David Cavan is the guy who's going to come up with the fumble. Shad Williams had it stripped out, and David Cavan saved the day for Alabama. Very well defended by Tennessee, and the ball is knocked out from behind by Paris Harrelson. And Cavan's going to get the football.
Loss of 2, 2nd down and 12. Philip Fulmer. Well, he's got some moves I've never seen before.
Yeah. He's got it going on today.
Don't know that I want to see him again. 2nd and 12. Boyle in the end zone for Luke. Luke waits. Can't get it. Flag down. Oh, my goodness.
The reason that we're going to get a flag is because the ball was slightly underthrown by Brody Croyle. And Luke had to stop and wait for the football, and the defender ran into him.
Rogers Redding.
We have pass interference. It's a defense. The penalty is 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Remember the touchdown pass that he threw to Luke earlier in the game? He threw it over all the defenders. Perfect lead. This one's a little bit underthrown to keep him in the field of play, and because it was underthrown, the defender made contact and ran into it. It was Corey Campbell, a freshman safety, who was in the ball game there, and that's who the penalty was on.
15-yard penalty. That'll leave Alabama with a first down at the 12-yard line.
And they can get another first down inside the 2. So they don't have to score from the 12-yard line here.
Fulgham goes wide to the left. Tyrone Prothro comes wide right.
I think they need to throw on this first down play. The Tennessee was ready for the run the last first down.
Play fake. Croyle comes right. He's got a little time. Drills it deep in the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Prothro.
Tennessee ready for the play on that time. I mean, they were ready for the run the last first down. That time had all the receivers covered. Brody Croyle had to throw the football away.
2nd and 10. Zach Fletcher comes on now. Croyle uses the dead ball time to come over and chat with Mike Shula. Comparison of the 2 quarterbacks, both in excess of 200 yards today. Clausen, no interception. Croyle threw 1. 2nd and 10. That's Triandos Luke, who starts in motion. Handoff up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Tim Castile. Crossed him up, didn't they?
Well, they crossed him up not only by running, but running to the fullback and not running it with Shad Williams. That's what I think fooled the Tennessee defense. It was a draw to the fullback, not the #1 ball carrier, Shad Williams.
In the first 8 games of this season, Tim Castile did not carry it once. Today, he's carried it twice. That time for a touchdown. Here's the extra point attempt. Bostic, right Like you said, nothing is a given.
Now watch this play. This is why it was such a good call by Mike Shula. Here's Sean Williams, but they're going to run the draw this way with the fullback Castile. And Tennessee, even if they were thinking run, were thinking Sean Williams, not Tim Castile.
Got a nice block from Triandos Luke on Jabril Wilson that gave him the last 5 yards free of charge. There's the block. Here's the touchdown. Alabama by 7. You know what I liked? Tim Castile, and the old cliche, acted like he had been there before.
Yeah.
A lot of class. First touchdown run of his career. Here's Tennessee to try and match. Clausen back, pumps once, nailed. Naughton, McKay, Lozier.
And they were setting up a play for a touchdown, and they had it. If they have protection, they've got it open. Now that McKay Lozier is over here, number 90. He's going to come right on the inside. He beats Sean Young, the right tackle. Sean Young had a lot of trouble with David Pollock in the loss to Georgia. That time he had trouble with not McKay Lozier.
And I think a mix-up with Cody Douglas, or so indicated by Sean Young. Loss of 9, 2nd and 19. 3-man Alabama rush across the middle, incomplete, 3rd and 19.
Boy, James Banks took a shot from Derek Pope at the end of that play, and he is still down. I don't think it was a dirty shot, but it was certainly a hard shot. Joe Kynes told us yesterday they just missed Derek Pope so much. His presence, his spark, his fire. It's incomplete. They could have called that a penalty. They very easily could have called that a late hit.
Yeah, the ball was gone.
Yeah, it was clearly not going to be a catch. It was after the play. He was exposed and probably should have drawn a flag. Boy, he had both feet on the ground before he got hit.
Oh, yes, indeed. Well, thank God he's up and walking off.
Nonetheless, 3rd down and 19. How big was that sack on the first down play? It sets you back so much. Now, Casey Clausen, he doesn't need to get 19 yards on this play because they're going to go for it on 4th down no matter what they do. So he doesn't have to try to get it all right here.
From the 34, 3-man rush. They drop 8. Clausen.
Nobody blocked. They didn't block Antoine Odom at all. We saw a mix-up on the right side with Sean Young. This time, Michael Munoz is going to get mixed up on the other side. But take a look over here. Watch Munoz. And for whatever reason, they just leave Antoine Odom unblocked. You can't do that.
Man, that looked like an Olay block, didn't it?
I don't know if he thought the back was going to chip on him or knock him out or what. But golly, you got to block that guy.
Now, Mike Shula maintains his composure. Now, Munoz trying to explain to Philip Fulmer exactly what happened.
You see, and all Casey Clausen is thinking there is, hey, let's just get 10. You know, let's get 10, 11, 12. Then we got 4th and 7. Now it's 4th and 19. There aren't too many plays you have in your playbook that are high percentage play on 4th and 19.
Now think about what's at stake here. I mean, obviously for Alabama, no bowl game. They have been really pounded in their 2 conference losses, trying to sustain something, retain dignity. And for Tennessee, it would be a 3rd loss in a row. After a 4-0 start, Randy Sanders talks to his offensive team, will send them back out 4th and 19. I mean, you don't want to overstate it, Todd, but the season could slip away for Tennessee.
Absolutely.
An 8-5 season last year. We all remember so well The year of 9/11, the delayed game at Florida, they went down to Gainesville, won that. They were overwhelming choices to defeat LSU in the conference title game and go to the championship game, and they got blown out.
Yep. Well, what Alabama did right there is they let Tennessee come out of the huddle and line up in a formation, and then Alabama ran out and called timeout. So they wanted to see what personnel Tennessee had in the game and what formation they were going to line up in. Now the question is, does Randy Sanders stay with the same personnel and the same play out of the timeout?
Second overtime. And let's go back for a Pontiac High Performance update from Tim Brando.
All right, Vern, well, you guys have lasted so long. We're into primetime football here. Eli Manning with a 1-yard touchdown pass to Nick Rosano. So Ole Miss is up on Arkansas. Remember, they're unbeaten in the SEC West going in. And Oklahoma out to a 14-0 lead over Colorado early on. We updated 14-6 now. Vern?
All right, Tim. Well, we may have been here a while. It may be a long novel, but we are filled with pep and vinegar.
Pep.
That's the word I chose, and I'm going to stand by it. 4th and 19.
Here's James Banks. He's their go-to guy, and he's being defended by Alabama's best guy, Charlie Pepler. Let's see where Casey goes with the football.
3 wide left. They need the 15-yard line. Rush 3 for Alabama. Clausen deep down the middle, got a man open at the 10.
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding? C.J. Phaeton.
Alabama only rushed 4. Now Phaeton's going to come on a crossing route. He's coming all the way across the field. It's a zone defense, and James Banks ran the coverage off on his side, and Phaeton came across for the opening. Good protection. Good job by Casey Clausen finding the opening, and life again for Tennessee.
1st and goal from just inside the 6. Clausen out of the spread, loads it up left side, looks left. Nothing there. Avoids the tackle this time. In the end zone. Touchdown. James Banks on the deflected pass. A flag is down back at the 18-yard line.
Well, right about where Casey Clausen is down.
There are flags on the play.
This ball was tipped by Freddie Roach.
The touchdown is good. We have a personal foul, roughing the passer against the defense. The penalty will be enforced on the try for the extra point.
Well, it's enforced on the try. Now does Philip Fulmer go for 2? Moving the ball to the 1.5, but he's still kicking. I think he's still kicking.
I think he kicks.
Yeah, I think you go for the tie, and the next overtime you have to go for 2. So don't waste your 2-point play, kick it, and live to play another day. What a football game.
When does the fun start? 34-33. The ball is at the 3.
Tennessee declined the penalty so that they could keep the ball in the 3 and not move it any closer.
Here's the snap. The kick is up. We're going to a 3rd overtime.
The kick is good. Alabama 34,
Tennessee 34. Will start on offense first.
The 3rd overtime.
So Alabama's defense that just got a little bit demoralized there will have to come right back on the field. They gave up the 4th and 19 completion. Now watch the touchdown. Freddie Roach, number 8, is going to tip the football. As Clausen is forced out of the pocket, he does a nice job of staying alive, throws back across his body, and if it wasn't deflected, it would have been incomplete. But because Roach got a hand on it, James Banks was able to catch it on the bounce.
And in the attempt to give equal time, I love the way James Banks handled this.
Yeah.
You know, just tossed the ball to the official. No self-aggrandizement, just playing football.
and pretty well at that. Let's go back and take a look at the hit on Casey Clausen.
Well, he does just a marvelous job of staying alive, buying some time. It's Antoine Odom that hits him.
Jeremy Clark.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy Clark, 98 and 99.
And then the tip and the catch by James Banks.
How about both teams making huge conversions on 4th down? Alabama, 4th and 3 touchdown pass. Casey Clausen, 4th and 19 conversion.
And we're back at the other end. Clausen on 1st down, deep left side, man open, caught, touchdown.
Now they have to go for 2. Now that we're in the 3rd overtime, both teams have to go for 2.
James Banks.
Come out on 1st down, the corner route perfectly thrown to the outside shoulder, and James Banks, man, what an athlete he is.
Cool Casey Clausen says, well, okay, we've got a touchdown. Now let's go and try for 2.
Now I want to see who's in the game for Tennessee, because I watched them practice on Thursday, and if number 1 is in the game, he's a guy to watch on the 2-point play. I don't see him. That would be Jason Swain.
Banks is to the left side. That is Mark Jones who starts in motion. And here's Casey Clausen rolling out, firing it incomplete. Derek Pope doing the chasing. In the 3rd overtime, it goes over to Alabama.
Yep. People might be saying right now, well, if Alabama scores and kicks it, it's over, but they have to go for 2 as well.
Right.
Once you get past the 2nd overtime, you have to go for 2 points. So, what a throw by Casey Clausen. Corner route used to be one of my favorite routes to throw. Just, you know, it's a timing throw. You got to throw it to a spot, and you just can't do it any better than that by Casey Clausen.
Alabama now with their 3rd offensive set, trailing 40-35 as we begin their part of the 3rd overtime. Into the right side, that's caught by Williams, but he lost 3 yards.
And almost would have been better if he wouldn't have caught the ball, because they lost the yardage.
2nd and 13. Alabama at home trying to win for the 4th time this year. Tennessee on the road trying to put the plug in a 2-game losing streak. Mike Shula, Philip Fulmer, graduates and fine athletes at these respective universities. 2nd and 13, draw play. Williams.
Nice play.
Yes, sir. Mondre Dickerson. Sometimes underachieving defensive tackle.
He's played well the last couple weeks. I mean, he had 13 tackles in the last 2 games and has made a few plays here today. Blocked a field goal.
3rd and 13.
And now the same thing applies for Brody Croyle. You don't have to get it all in one play. You're going for it on 4th down if you don't make it here. 3rd and 13.
J.B. Klausner back in at center. Here's Croyle back. Steps up, lobs it out, caught by Hudson, shakes a tackle at the 15, down at the 12, 1st down.
What a cut by Hudson. I mean, this looked like it was going to be stopped well short of a 1st down, because Brody Croyle is he's just trying to find an outlet, somebody to get the ball to, and 2 guys missed him.
Boulware and Allen, and they did not detect the face mask.
Yeah, could have been called. Actually, no. This was on the helmet, not the face mask. Good no call. But what a effort by Hudson to get the 1st down.
Now Prothro goes wide to the right on 1st down and 10 in the 3rd overtime at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. Williams goes left. Williams scores.
This is unreal.
Philip Fulmer can't move it anymore.
Alabama has called timeout to make sure everybody is square on the 2-point play. Now every team practices a 2-point play, sometimes 1 or 2 2-point plays. with the new overtime rule a couple years ago, you really had to focus more on your two-point play. Watch the run behind the left side. Atlas Harrion with an outstanding block from the left tackle position, and Shawn Williams still has some spring in his leg. And I think because they've been able to rotate Shawn Williams and Ray Hudson, both of those backs are still fresh in the third overtime.
And I must say that the guy who was jumping up and down is Taylor Britt, number 52. It was his brother who left the field on the cart with a broken leg, taken to the hospital, and urged his teammates and the fans here to go out and keep competing. Now this is Taylor Britt.
Well, I want you to keep an eye on the left side here now. Watch Smiley, Atlas Harrion, Tim Castile, and coming into your picture right now is Donald Clark, the tight end, 93. He got a huge block on the cornerback, still blocking him, Jason Allen, that helped Shawn Williams get to the corner.
Well, some 3.5 hours ago, Wesley Britt, broken leg. Challenging his team. Play hard. Play well. His brother, Taylor. Well, they have played hard and well, so has Tennessee, and it's down to this. If Alabama scores the 2, they win.
We
but
see
first,
the same gamesmanship by John Chavis now. They let Alabama come out and line up, just like in basketball. You know, with a critical inbounds play, it's the same concept. Let them come out, line up. Let's see who they have in the game, how they're lining up. And now we'll call timeout. So Tennessee uses their timeout. Now, in that setup, they had the same look with single coverage on Dre Fulgham to the one receiver side that they threw the fade for a touchdown on 4th down. The safety was tucked inside. They had the same look if they wanted to go with that.
John Chavis.
Remember what the score of this game was at halftime?
6-3.
6-3.
That's 40-40. Can you imagine trying to explain to somebody who's hitting the remote right about now what's going on here? Well, you should have been with us. Sorry you weren't. This has been special. Taylor Britt.
You know, you've got a couple options here. You can do some kind of a pick play and try to rub somebody off and get them to the flat to a 3 receiver side, or you can try to go single on a 1 receiver side. I think with Dre Fulgham being a big physical receiver at 217 pounds, if Tennessee lines up single on him again, I'm not so sure I wouldn't try to beat man-to-man coverage with number 3.
On number 3, Dre Fulgham will be on the near side. Tim Castile as well.
Yep, they changed their formation. They lined up in a different formation now with a... now they shift back out into it.
That's David Cabin, number 87. Casts on both hands, probably not a target.
Now the safety's out. They don't have single this time.
Here's Croyle, drills it, intercepted. That could be returned. And it is, but only to the 13-yard line. Let's go to a 4th overtime.
Let's.
Jabari Greer picked it off.
Brody tried to make a quick throw right into the hole, but it was a little bit outside, and Jabari Greer was in excellent position to make the play. Brody a little bit outside on this throw for Triandos Luke, and Greer, and a nice hustle by Luke, knowing that that could have lost the game for him, and Greer runs that all the way back.
Well, some evenings there's agony. We'll be right back. A while, 40-40. Happiest guy in this broadcast booth is me. There's no scoring recap demanded. 4th overtime. Record of overtimes, we talked about it a little earlier, was Arkansas at Ole Miss. That went 7. This Tennessee team went 6 against Arkansas. Philip Fulmer And the Bulls 40-40 just got an interception from Jabari Greer to extend this one to number 4.
Yeah, I want to remake another point. One thing I think is really good for Alabama, everybody's tired right now. Okay, everybody's tired in this game, but the fact that they've rotated their 2 tailbacks, Ray Hudson and Shaud Williams, they both have fresh legs at this point in the game, fresher than those guys on the defense.
Here's Coyle, hands it off, gives it to one of the running backs. Hudson breaks the first contact and picks up 4 down to the 21-yard line. J.T. Mapu made the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 6. Well, most total points in the series, 84 in 1986. Somebody scores a touchdown here, that record goes by the wayside. 2nd down and 6 in the 4th overtime. Castile in a slot to the left side. Pro throw is wide right. And Fulgham is up on the line. Lead block. Hudson comes right. Gets a block from his tight end. He's picked up a 1st down. Nifty bit of running by Ray Hudson and a nice block by David Cabot.
Yeah, see, he's not tired. And everybody on the other side of the ball in a white jersey is tired. But because they've been able to rotate these guys, you have 2 fresh backs in the 4th quarter. I mean, you don't make those kind of moves on tired legs. But Ray Hudson isn't tired.
He is asking for a blow right now.
He might be tired right now. I think he wasn't tired before that play.
1st down, Alabama, just inside the 13. These men are tired.
I'll tell you what, you can have sudden death overtime. I love this. I love this rule for overtime in college football.
And off. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, and a penalty.
Yes.
And it was a heck of a play. I think that was Kevin Burnett, or no, Kevin Simon. And Shaud Williams is hurt at the end of that play. But that's going to be 15 yards on Tennessee. This was not intentional. Kevin Simon closed down quickly and just grabbed whatever he could. Unfortunately for him, it was Shaud Williams' face mask. Oh, man.
That was a personal foul, pushing the face mask against the defense. The penalty would be half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
Shaud Williams will come out, and Hudson goes back in. Good to see him shaking his head.
Now, the good news is it moves you closer to the goal line. It's going to take it down to the 7-yard line. The bad news is you can't get another 1st down. So now you have to score something. You have 1st and goal on the 7.
And Brody Croyle comes back up under center. I formation on 1st and goal. And off Hudson, goes left. Caught and dropped for a loss of 3. Yes, indeed. Robert Pierce, Peace, the middle linebacker.
Ray Hudson tackled behind the line.
Now let's take one more look at the tackle. Kevin Simon on Shaud Williams just a moment ago. Ouch.
Well, that's why you have to do neck exercises when you play football. You have to have a strong neck for the contact and then the plays like that.
Williams 37 carries, 168 yards. On 2nd down, draw play. 3rd down.
I think that's Robert Peace again. 2 plays in a row. Robert Peace has stepped up for this Tennessee defense. Senior middle linebacker coming into the day 2nd on the team with 51 tackles, and 2 plays in a row. He has knocked Alabama for a loss of yardage, and now Brody Croyle wants to call timeout. They were 1st and goal
at the
on the 7, and now they're 3rd and goal on the 12.
Mike Shula just a moment ago. I think he wanted the timeout before the play.
Yeah, I think he did.
Something he didn't like.
Well, at no point in a game do you want to waste plays. You know, you want to get out of any bad plays, but particularly now when every play is precious, you don't want to waste a play. And Robert Peace has made 2 outstanding plays in a row for Tennessee to knock Alabama back.
And so 3rd and goal from the 12 when we get back to play.
The good news for Alabama after this week is they are off. They've played 9 games in a row, counting today, since the start of the season. They're off. Now Tennessee, they play Duke at home for homecoming.
I'm going to avoid the obvious.
It's not the same as being off.
I'm going to avoid the obvious. And you're showing remarkable restraint, for which I am thankful. 3rd and goal.
3rd down, goal to go from the 12.
Now, if there were 5-on-5s.
That's right. A little different deal there.
3rd down from the 11. 3rd and goal.
Boy, oh boy.
Some game. Coyle out of the spread. Tennessee shows a 4-man rush. They are bringing 4. They stunt into the corner. Up in the air. Incomplete. 4th down.
Brody Coyle's pass intended for Zach Fletcher.
Not much chance.
Excuse me, Con.
Not much chance there. I mean, Brody gave it a shot, but good coverage downfield by Tennessee. Credit again goes to Robert Peace for those 2 plays in a row that forced the long yardage situation, and now field goal attempt.
And Bostic has had 1 blocked, 1 tipped today. He's 2 of 4, and you see his percentage by distance, 67% from 29 yards out. The snap, the hold, the kick is up. Good.
That may have been his best one of the day. I mean, good snap, good hold, solid kick. Now it's up to the defense.
Nick Riding snaps it back. Gabe Jardina at 5'6" is the holder.
Gabe's dad is a friend of mine. Frank Gardenia is a sports information guy at Penn State. Gabe came down here from State College, Pennsylvania, walked on, and in this his final season is holding and loving every minute of it.
Now Casey Clausen and the Volunteers of Tennessee down by 3. They try to answer in the 4th overtime. If they score the touchdown, they win.
And remember the last time they went for the touchdown on the 1st down play, the corner route to James Banks.
Alabama looks for the run, got it. Jabari Davis lost 3 yards.
Casey Clausen tried to fool them like they were throwing with those signals like who's picking up the blitz. But Alabama waiting for run. And a nice play in there by Anthony Bryant, number 97, the big defensive tackle.
Player down for Alabama. It might be Bryant. Nope. Mark Anderson, number 47.
He's going to have to come out for a play. Naughton McKay Loescher back in the game, the senior.
How about that? That's unbelievable.
Wow.
1 yard difference.
But more importantly, 3-point difference right now.
2nd and 12. Davis is the deep back in the eye. 2 wideouts to the left. Clausen with a play fake. Looks right. Nobody open. Rolls right. And scoots out of bounds. That might be a flag.
Yeah, and it was. And just so dumb by Antoine Odom. Just so dumb.
What could he have been thinking?
You know, he had one earlier on a touchdown play. The pass to James Banks, and it was assessed on the extra point. Actually, Tennessee declined it. This time, you know, play's over. Just run by him. I know you're frustrated that you didn't get to him, but leave him alone. There was a block by Jabari Davis that was out of bounds as well, but still, I mean, just can't do that.
After the penalty, first down and goal from the 9.
Boy.
2 wideouts left, 1 right. First and goal. Touchdown, and Tennessee wins. Keep it on the ground, give it to Jabari Davis. He picks up 1 yard, fumble. And the fumble occurred after the player was ruled down. Second and goal.
Remember, Cedric Houston went out of this game a while ago. We haven't seen him again. So unlike Alabama, Tennessee down to their 1 back, Jabari Davis, if they want to run the football.
Again, 2 receivers to the left, 1 right. That's Banks, bottom of the screen. Clausen with a play fake. Rolls to his right under some pressure. Fires it deep in the end zone, incomplete. Incidental contact, 8 yards back. It'll be third down.
Nice rush by Mikael Osher. That forced Clausen to leave the pocket. He was able to collapse the pocket and force Clausen to get outside. Anthony Bryant did a nice job chasing the quarterback. He needs to come out for a play here, number 97. Looks like we have a timeout by Tennessee.
Now, you can sense the weariness, can't you? Timeout, Tennessee. Leaves third and goal in a 43-44 overtime game. NFL today, tomorrow, a doubleheader. Both of those games in length might equal this one. We'll begin at 1 o'clock. Denver, Baltimore, Cleveland, New England, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Second game, Jets, Philadelphia, Houston at Indianapolis. And it all begins with the NFL today, tomorrow at 12 Eastern time. Jim Nantz, Dan Marino, Deion Sanders, and Boomer Esiason. Third and goal, 4th overtime, Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa.
Tell you what, if this game lasts another overtime, they're going to have to bring you some more hot dogs to get through it.
How about Wheaties with the wake-up call? Oh, goodness. It's been fun and memorable.
Well, big play. Obviously, the biggest play in the game right now for Alabama. 3rd and 8. If they stop him here, Tennessee will have to try a field goal to tie. They've got to defend the whole field here. James Banks, top receiver down here at the bottom, number 11. He's made some huge catches so far today.
3 receivers at the top. 3rd and goal from the 9, from the 8. Clausen from the spread. 4-man rush for Alabama across the middle, incomplete. 4th down. And we will see James Wilhite. Intended for Derek Tinsley. Here comes Wilhite.
J.C. Clausen's pass intended for Derek Tinsley.
On 4th down.
Open coverage for Alabama.
1 of 2, 2 of 2 today. And this one from 25 yards out to tie it.
James Wilhite will attempt a field goal.
And send us to a 5th overtime. Welcome to number 5.
The 25-yard field goal.
Bring on the ballparks. And again, Alabama right back on the field. Their defense. What a game. I mean, every play, every snap is intense. Execution at a premium on both offense, defense, special teams.
We've got a chance to grab our breaths. We'll be right back. The 3rd down play a moment ago, Todd.
Yeah, Casey Clausen trying to stick it in between 2 defenders. A little bit low, trying to hit Derek Tinsley. Casey knows, hey, we're still alive, though. That doesn't end the game for us.
43 all. We began at 2:30 Central Time this afternoon, so coming up on 4 hours and 45 minutes now.
I think they try to throw to James Banks here on this play. Get a big play on first down.
Clausen hands it off instead, but he bounces to the outside. And this is
Corey Larkins.
Corey Larkins, who is on to spell Jabari Davis.
Corey Larkins.
He's an Alabama guy from Opelika, Alabama, junior. And some fresh legs in the game. So we see the same thing. A little bit of tiredness, fatigue on the Alabama defense. A new tailback for Tennessee. And a good run on first down to the 10-yard line.
That's a gain of 15 and a first down. Banks again wide left. Clausen looks out to his right on first down. He'll hand it off again. Nice block left side. Larkins to the 5 and perhaps the 4-yard line. When you think back, Mike Shula, who quarterbacked in this game, an all-SEC quarterback for Alabama in the mid-'80s. Philip Fulmer, who was an all-conference guard in the early 70s for Tennessee. The two quarterbacks in this game, Casey Clausen, Brody Coyle, both expressing at the beginning of the afternoon how much this game meant, how bitter this rivalry is. Nice play. Flag is down.
I think Alabama was offsides on that play. They were blitzing and they were trying to hit it on the run. And I think they got in the neutral zone before the ball was snapped.
Offside. The defense.
Yep.
The player was in the neutral zone at the snap. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
It was Kyle Tatum, number 85, who jumped a little bit early before the ball was snapped. A nice play by D'Amico Ryans, but all for naught, as Tennessee has second down now from the 3-yard line.
Larkins remains in the backfield as the tailback. Troy Fleming is the fullback. That's Tony Brown in motion. Hand off Larkins. 1 yard. Third down. Derek Pope, a part of the tackle. Ahmad Childress, number 95. Third and goal from the 3. 3rd and 1, beg your pardon.
See, they still have the chains up down there, so I think Tennessee can somehow get a first down.
Yes, they can.
Without scoring here. Normally, if you can't get a first down, they drop the chains on the other side of the field, but they still have them standing. So that's like the half-inch line, but technically they could get a first down, I think, without scoring.
Smokey's aged. Smokey's grown. All right, thank you, Tim. Todd and Jill and I were looking forward to sitting back with a remote control and clicking back and watching both those games. They may end before this one. 3rd and 1. They can get the first down.
Looks like an awful long one.
Boy, doesn't it?
Doesn't look like one to me.
I'm glad that guy's not measuring my bank account. Play fake. Clausen rolling right. Being chased, heads for the end zone. Did he get in? It's the ball and the plane, and he's out of bounds, and he might have a first down.
He reached that ball with his left hand for the goal line, and if he doesn't get a touchdown, I think he definitely gets the first down. Watch Casey Clausen put the ball in his non-throwing hand, his left hand, at the end of this play and reach it to the goal line. Wow.
What a heads-up play by Clausen.
I think that's a touchdown. If the ball, before he's
hits the pylon,
hits the pylon, that crosses the plane of the end zone.
I agree. Well, they do get the first down. It's the plane and the pylon is in play. Is that not correct?
Well,
I need a quick
first and
conversation
goal.
with Bobby Gassner.
Yeah.
It sure is first and goal. Jabari Davis back in the lineup. Quarterback keeper. Tennessee. Touchdown.
And again, they have to go for 2. And the second part of that is they're to their backup 2-point play because they've already used their number 1 2-point play and failed. So now they're on their backup 2-point play, which you carry a couple different 2-point plays, but you usually use your favorite one first. I mean, that was like less than a half a yard. Good push on the inside. Right behind his senior center, Scott Wells, who's making his 43rd consecutive start today for Tennessee.
Chuck Prue watching back in Knoxville in the hospital, urging his team on the same way Wesley Britt urging the Alabama Crimson Tide on. Here's the try for 2. Deep left side, up, and caught! James Banks!
And that was an audible by Casey Clausen. On the 2-point play, he audible to the fade route to James Banks. The same route that he completed against South Carolina for a touchdown to win the game in overtime. Watch Casey. They had a different play called, and he checks off. He says, I've got single out there. James Banks is a 6'3" receiver. I'm going to give him a chance to make the play. And he does. Wow.
Ramsey Robinson attempting to defend, number 17.
See, with a guy that tall that can jump and is that athletic, you throw it up there and you give him a chance to go make a play.
Casey Clausen, the Iceman. Pretty cool. Alabama needs a touchdown and the 2. And the cheerleaders for Tennessee need a rest. Reverse, left side, pro throw. Look at Brody Croyle throw a block. How about that? Separated shoulder and all. 9 yards.
First reverse we've seen by Alabama. Saw a couple good ones for Tennessee. Get that defense going one way. Pro throw, who's made some nice plays. And you notice Brody Croyle did lead with his right shoulder, though. He didn't lead with the left one. Smart enough to do that, but nice effort on his part.
Gain of 9. 2nd and 1. 51-43 in the 5th overtime. That's Lance Taylor going wide to the right, now coming back to the near side. And off Williams.
Boy, he lost a yard.
Yes, he did.
2nd and 1, you know, you're thinking, let's just get the conversion. And Tennessee stepped up again.
Robert Peace, middle linebacker.
3rd play we've seen him make on a running short yardage play.
3rd and 1. Gray Fulgham breaks off wide to the right. Double tight end set. Donald Clark is to the left. And David Cavan to the right. Williams gets the handoff.
Oh, my goodness.
Lost another yard.
That was J.T. Mapu, number 99, who made that play. 2 plays in a row. Tennessee's defensive front has dominated the action. Mapu comes from his defensive tackle spot and makes the play. Mondre Dickerson with good penetration on the play side.
Shawn Williams really frustrated with his offensive line on that play. And that leaves Alabama looking at a 4th and 2 from the 17. And Alabama has used its timeout. So 4th and 2 in a 51-43 game in the 5th overtime.
And again, your favorite plays are the ones that you go to in these situations. And remember, 2 runs in a row to the left side where Justin Smiley is, but where Wesley Britt used to be and hasn't been since the 1st quarter.
Let's go back to Tim Brando in New York for this Pontiac High Performance Update.
All right, Vern, one of those one-loss teams with BCS ramifications, Washington State. But watch, Matt Kegel is sandwiched here. The ball goes through the end zone, so just prior to halftime, Oregon State, the Beavers have the 1-point lead. Vern?
All right, Tim, thank you. 4th and 2 here, 51-43 in the 5th overtime. How many times do you suppose they played Rocky Top? Be a heck of a pool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
4th and 2. Brody Croyle under his center. Sean Williams directly behind him. 2 wideouts. That's Cavan, the tight end. This could be the ball game. If Tennessee holds, it's over. Croyle going for Fulgham in the end zone. Tipped. Tennessee wins. Jason Allen made the defensive play. The Volunteers win at 51-43 for Jill Arrington, Todd Blackledge. I'm Vern Lundquist. We trust you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.